This thief spent 2.5 years leveling his class to the maximum. Yet he was still a nobody, a rookie who couldn't even get onto the rankings. But when the logout button suddenly stopped working, his life, along with his game character, was forcibly erased by the system. When he opened his eyes again, he discovered he had been reborn 3 years earlier, carrying the memories of a max-level thief. At that time, the Tianyong continent had only been open for 3 months. In this life, he was determined to break into the top 100 of the global power rankings, then become the strongest Awakened One, and finally create a guild of his own. So Ling Su obtained a first-generation game helmet from an old scavenger. He logged in impatiently, determined to make up for all the regrets of his past life. His new character name was still Ling Su, and with the experience of a max-level thief, he once again chose the thief class after rebirth. A level 1 novice actually has 12 attribute points to allocate. In his past life, Ling Su chose a balanced build, but this time, he put all 12 points into agility without hesitation. Because this leveling secret was something only he knew. As the system countdown ended, Ling Su was teleported to the spawn point. But even though the server had just opened, the spawn point was already crowded. In his previous life, he entered the game a year late. This time, he had to seize the lead, so he hurriedly opened the power rankings. As expected, the top ID was the same as before, and fortunately, Unmoving Darkmark was only level 12. But right now, Ling Su needed to plan his leveling route quickly, because countless opportunities and treasures were waiting in his memory. Using the experience of his previous life, he would rise with unstoppable speed and become the first Awakened One. Let's go. Time to grab a set of God-tier gear first. Ling Su teleported to the main city of Casfido, the starter village for level 1 to 5 players. Weapon and equipment trades were all available here, because every newcomer carried 1 starter silver coin. Later on, merchants called this place the holy ground for harvesting newbies. Level 3 to 4 players were especially popular here. And any level 5 veteran carrying a newbie to level 1 dared to charge 3 silver coins. The reason this happened was that all beginner quests were long overcrowded. Most players had no choice but to level up at fixed monster spawn points. Even killing a level 1 mob required waiting in line for an hour. Since Tianyong continent had no fixed main quest and focused more on exploration, a level 5 veteran boosting you made leveling much easier. Ling Su let out a contemptuous smile. Too bad he had the fastest method to reach level 5. He rushed to the commercial street. He told the shop NPC what he wanted to buy. In the end, spending 90 copper coins was only enough for a basic speed scroll and a one-time grapple hook. What was this even good for? After that, Ling Su hurried towards Sunset Peak to obtain the God-tier gear. After looking around, he secretly rejoiced. Indeed, in the early game, very few people tried to trigger the hidden quest here. Then he heard players complaining. That Sunset Elder NPC is insane, asking us to reach the peak in 10 minutes. Even with 20 minutes, we might not make it. Going around Sunset Peak's broken ridge alone took at least 6 minutes. A beautiful healer burst into tears, saying she thought there was a hidden platform inside the ridge, but she fell to her death and even lost a level. Not far away, the Sunset Elder NPC asked kindly if anyone wanted to see the scenery atop the mountain. Ling Su bowed respectfully to the elder. Yes, honorable elder, I've come to witness the view from the summit. The players who failed earlier immediately mocked him in the public chat. Ling Su ignored them and decisively accepted the ascent challenge. And with only 10 minutes on the timer, not a single second could be wasted. He had put all 12 points into agility precisely for this moment. If he truly reached the summit, he would obtain a special equipment reward. The moment Ling Su accepted the quest, the countdown began. Honorable Elder, see you at the top. Even though he was only level 1, Ling Su burst out with near level 5 speed. Instead of taking the normal mountain trail, he sprinted straight into the dense forest. The trail was safe and convenient, but winding and slow. Running through the forest would at least cut the travel distance in half. And the reason no one chose the forest was because it was filled with big-mouth grass monsters. But these monsters were the key for a thief to climb quickly. In an instant, two big-mouthed grass monsters jumped out. They were only level 1, but as social creatures, they constantly harassed players. In the next moment, Ling Su cast backstab on the farthest monster. In the blink of an eye, he appeared behind it. Clearly, the grass monsters were the key tools for Ling Su's movement. The system notified him that he had attracted a large amount of aggro. The more he used backstab, the more aggro he pulled, but it greatly shortened his climb time. Ling Su wasn't afraid, because the cooldown for his next backstab had just ended. After 5 backstabs, the time remaining was 6 minutes and 30 seconds. And Ling Su had already reached halfway up the mountain. Without realizing it, he had pulled the aggro of dozens of grass monsters. The next area was Sunset Peak's Broken Ridge. Yes, this was the place. Most players chose to go around it, which added at least 6 extra minutes. But if there was a way to cross it, the summit was right ahead. The time left was 6 minutes and 10 seconds. Ling Su faintly remembered that the ridge area had a cluster of grass monsters. He would use them as stepping stones. And it was time for the grapple hook and speed scroll to shine. The moment the speed scroll activated, Ling Su used backstab on a grass monster and instantly rode onto its head. Then let me borrow you to send me upward. Ling Su knocked away the nearby monsters blocking him. Then he jumped with full strength, using their bodies for leverage. With the scroll's speed boost, he passed through the ridge's fog and saw the dead branch in the center. The prepared grapple hook fired at that moment. Its 90-meter range hit perfectly. Launch me. Ling Su swung himself forward with the grapple hook. Of course, he couldn't fly over the ridge in one go. There was one final step. At the mountain's edge, a grass monster would always spawn. One more backstab would get him across. As time ticked away, a white-haired boy leaped high through the sunset glow. The timer stopped at 5 minutes and 17 seconds. The system announced, "Congratulations, young adventurer. You completed the ascent in 4 minutes and 43 seconds." Not far from the summit, the Sunset Elder exclaimed, "I didn't expect you to reach the top in less than half the time. Young adventurer, seeing how you crossed the fog ridge, you truly came with great resolve." Ling Su smiled. "If in this life I lack the resolve to look toward the summit, how could I ever stand at its peak?" The Sunset Elder's weathered face revealed a smile no NPC should have. "Interesting, young man. You're qualified to seek glorious power." At that moment, a system pop-up appeared. Since he finished in under 5 minutes, the Sunset Elder's hidden quest, Proof of Glory, was unlocked. Ling Su was completely stunned. In his previous life, he had challenged Sunset Peak hundreds of times and never heard of any hidden quest. The Sunset Elder then took a badge from his robe and handed it to Ling Su. He sighed, saying Ling Su's determination reminded him of the past. If he goes mad, he becomes the king. The moment Ling Su received the badge, the system revealed the item, Sealed Proof of Glory. It explained that this was an ancient badge containing history and a grand journey. Congratulations, player. You have unlocked the hidden quest, Path of Glory. Explore the secret behind the badge. Current progress, 0%. It seemed this hidden quest had no clues at all, and Ling Su had never heard of it in his previous life. Next, the Sunset Elder delivered the Ascent reward to Ling Su's storage. It was a peak-tier, godly set chosen according to his class. It could deal 1000% damage to monsters level 5 and below, while such monsters could only deal 1 HP damage to him. However, the set would expire once he reached level 5. This was Ling Su's greatest advantage before hitting level 5. He immediately clicked to equip it. In the next moment, a silver-white cloak appeared and shining metal wrapped around his limbs, perfectly matching Ling Su's silver hair. The Sunset Elder reminded him, if he kept his resolve to climb the summit, they would surely meet again. Then allow this old man to send you off. Let those watching from the peak witness the return of the one who stands atop it. With a swish, the Elder grabbed Ling Su and leapt from the 1,000-meter summit, while the onlookers below were still waiting to laugh at him. A burst of bright light exploded at the mountain's base. In the stunned gazes of the crowd, the Elder and the young thief glowed amid dust and wind. No way. That level 1 thief actually completed the Ascent quest. And where did he get that entire set of gear? The woman who had been complaining earlier instantly turned into a soft-spoken cutie, leaning toward Ling Su. "Thief bro, can we add each other's friends?" Ling Su listened to the uproar around him. Such chaos was unavoidable. After all, appearing like this, how could he not become the center of attention? Young adventurer, he can only send me this far. The Sunset Elder waved his hand. Before everyone's eyes, a golden portal opened. Strategy lovers immediately frowned. What kind of NPC is this Sunset Elder? A special portal? And that thief's equipment, could it be a unique quest? The soft-spoken girl asked curiously, "What's a unique quest?" On Tianyong continent, there were 3 types of quests. The first was the regular bounty quest players could take often. The second was encounter quests triggered by meeting special NPCs. And a unique quest would disappear forever once a single person completed it. Before leaving, the old man bid Ling Su farewell, saying he hoped they would meet again in the future if he was still walking the path toward glory. Yet before Ling Su could ask about the proof of glory, the elder left one last sentence. "Farewell, candidate of glory." The moment the Sunset Elder vanished through teleportation, the system notified him. The journey to glory quest progress has reached 5%. He must continue seeking information about the glorious ones to uncover the unknown path. This hidden quest is also a unique quest, with its difficulty unknown. With the Zohe God tier set in hand, the most important thing now was reaching level 5. To avoid drawing attention, he hid his personal info and equipment. Then Ling Su headed straight for the Ant Army Basin dungeon. This dungeon was suitable for level 2 to 5 players, but level 1 players never dared to enter. Yet Ling Su walked directly into the inner circle of the basin. The inner circle was full of level 5 ant soldiers, and they always attacked in swarms. Even level 5 elites from guilds, fully geared in golden equipment, had to bring at least 2 healers to grind there. But for Ling Su, who possessed the Zohe set, the inner circle was the best leveling spot. He might even hit level 5 before the next wave of ant soldiers respawned. What shocked everyone was that this level, one thief was stronger than warriors. He slashed through enemies alone, charging all the way into the mid-circle. His damage was absurdly high. Players in the mid-circle stared wide-eyed. This level, one thief looked like he was hacking, and he was still walking toward the inner circle. Ling Su leaped forward and landed directly in the swarm of level 5 ant soldiers. Earlier, on his way to the basin, Ling Su happened to run into the Jimiao Adventure Squad. If you remember correctly, in the future Jimiao Guild would become one of the top 5 guilds. Right now, their female leader was furious. A mage in their team, nervous while fighting in the inner circle, had accidentally killed a low HP teammate, turning her own ID red. After being wiped out by the level 5 ant army, the red-named mage not only lost 1 level of experience, but also dropped her level 5 fire drive staff. Red-named deaths not only result in level and gear loss. Depending on the severity, the system assigns a red-name penalty duration. At that moment, Ling Su volunteered. "How about I help you retrieve the gear?" Hearing that a level 1 thief wanted to help a red-named mage in the inner circle, the mage felt doubly insulted. A large blade was instantly pointed at Ling Su. A level 1 thief shouldn't go throw his life away. He didn't belong there. If he insisted on gambling on luck, he'd only waste time. He should go grind in level 1 or level 2 maps first. Ling Su thought the man wasn't half bad, so he replied, using "I'm broke" as an excuse, that if he retrieved the gear, he could sell it back to them. Seeing this level 1 thief unmoved, the female warrior snapped. Forget entering the inner circle. Surviving the outer circle would already be lucky. But once Ling Su learned the drop location of the fire drive staff, he vanished from sight. Before leaving, he bragged to the Jimiao squad, "Just wait here. Pay me when I'm back." The leader simply assumed he was a lunatic and turned away. Soon after, Ling Su charged alone into the outer circle of the Ant Army Basin. He moved like the wind. His footwork and strikes were smooth and natural, weaving through the outer circle using movement alone. Then, with a single backstab, he reached the edge of the mid-circle. This move left the level For players farming, they're completely stunned. Who is this level 1 thief? He's way too bold. Yet what they didn't know was that Ling Su's true target was the inner circle. Ling Su dove straight into the center of the inner circle ant soldiers. Because of the Zohe set's power, attacks from level 5 and below monsters could only deal 1 HP of damage to him. And with the set's 1000% damage bonus against monsters, he killed 5 ant soldiers with just 1 strike. This allowed Ling Su to reach level 2 smoothly. After all, killing higher level monsters grants more experience. And since no one else was farming in the inner circle, Ling Su could claim all the level 5 ant soldiers for himself. Time passed quickly, and night arrived. The mid and outer circle ants had been almost cleared by players. Yet horrifyingly, the inner circle was now covered with corpses. That thief was still alive. Not only did he solo the inner circle, he also enjoyed the bonus EXP from killing higher level monsters. In just half a day, he had gone from level 1 to level 5. A lunatic. Absolutely a lunatic. He must have hidden his gear info. He definitely had some insane equipment. Ling Su held the fire drive staff, sitting among the corpses with blood all over him, yet feeling no exhaustion. Finally, level 5. The system notified him that since he had reached level 5, the Zohe set had automatically expired. Meanwhile, a village center broadcast reminded players that sleeping in the rest area would accumulate an EXP buff. The Jinmiao Guild's female leader decided to rest, but the red-named mage still couldn't stop thinking about Ling Su. But the moment she mentioned that thief, the leader became furious. She immediately pressed the mage down. She scolded her, saying that even though they were a third-tier team, Jinmiao Guild was still one of the top 5 guilds. Letting a level 1 thief retrieve your drop gear. Aren't you embarrassed? And you're even looking forward to it? Meanwhile, Ling Su's micro-moves and achievements spread across the Tianyong forums. Hearing the rumors, the female leader grew curious. Which thief had soloed the inner circle and leveled from 1 to 5? The next second, Ling Su appeared behind her. Her pupils shrank as she stared at his level. Why you? The thief on the forum is you? Ling Su handed the fire drive staff to the red-named mage. So what price are you offering? The mage only had 3 silver coins left, and she gave them all to Ling Su. The leader then invited Ling Su. If he was interested in Jinmiao Guild, she could help introduce him to the higher-ups. In his previous life, Jinmiao Guild had already been one of the top 5 guilds, but since Ling Su entered the game a year late, the guild had long been full by the time he tried to join. Later, when Tianyong Continent opened the pet system, leveling became much easier. Because of this, Ling Su studied countless player guides in order to level quickly. His reason was simple: to earn money through the max level and queen quests so he could join a guild. Such things were only fantasies to Ling Su in his previous life, but in this life, he had the right to choose. So he decisively declined the female leader's invitation. After losing the Zohe set, he now needed to get another set of gear. Thus, Ling Su returned to the newbie shop to prepare for grinding and leveling. His level 5 badge instantly stunned the same players who mocked him earlier. He first sold the 12 pieces of equipment dropped from the Ant Army Basin today, earning 30 silver coins and 66 copper coins. Then he bought 20 strong fire bottles and 3 basic invisibility potions from the shop NPC. As for weapons, Ling Su casually bought a level 5 white tier dagger from the blacksmith next door. He prepared all this because he discovered that the ant queen nest deep inside the basin still hadn't been cleared. Once the nest was wiped out, the level 5 dungeon would refresh, and the hidden dungeon Dark Echo Forest would appear, a discovery players only made 5 months after Tianyong launched. The Dark Echo Forest could drop the Dismember Assault set, the strongest gear for thieves before level 10. The first thing Ling Su did upon entering the Ant Queen nest was drink an invisibility potion. This was the most effortless method he had seen in guides from his past life. It only lasted 9 seconds, but that was enough to do many things. The moment the potion wore off, monster aggro would instantly lock on a Ling Su. But as long as he chained another invisibility potion, he could continue forward safely. After all 3 potions were consumed, Ling Su had already reached the Ant Queen's chamber. Next, He only needed to kill the Ant Queen to unlock the hidden dungeon Dark Echo Forest. But now he was being attacked from both sides, so the strong fire bottles he prepared in advance finally came into play. Ants fear fire the most. Blocking the cave entrance with fire bottles prevented the ant soldiers from entering. And the Ant Queen, being nothing more than a reproduction machine, had no attack methods. Right now, she was a turtle in a jar. Ling Su gave an awkward grin. A one-on-one is better for both of us. You're just too easy to bully. With that, Ling Su hurled the remaining fire bottles at the Ant Queen. A piercing scream echoed from within the nest. At that moment, the system sent a server-wide announcement. Congratulations to player No Name for clearing the Ant Queen nest, triggering the Zerg's wrath. The level 5 hidden dungeon Silent Echo Forest is now open. Meanwhile, news that Ling Su solo cleared the Ant Army Basin's inner ring and shot up to level 5 in half a day was reported by Daira to the senior members of the Zhimiao Guild. Seeing how fast he leveled, she worried that if they didn't recruit me first, other guilds might steal me away. An arrogant level 8 officer scoffed, a tiny level 5 thief? He's in effect the 5 great guilds? Even though Daira praised Ling Su to the heavens, the higher-ups still acted full of themselves. Just then, a girl interrupted. Deputy Leader Tiana stepped in to mediate, saying, Daira is doing this for the guild. Don't put pressure on her. Tiana continued, if that thief really has talent, he can come take the tier exam when he gets the chance. The server just launched, and too many players are applying for guild assessments anyway. He'll get an opportunity. Her calm tone and gentle voice quickly persuaded Daira, because among orc women, it was rare to find someone this elegant. But at that moment, everyone received the same global announcement. Player No Name cleared the Ant Queen nest, triggering the Zerg's wrath. The level 5 hidden dungeon Silent Echo Forest is now open. Tiana, staying rational, told everyone to quiet down. This announcement reached all players. In a level 5 hidden dungeon would attract a massive frenzy. They needed to hurry and scout the area to find promising recruits for the guild. The captain chimed in, desperately flattering her. Tiana is right. Tiana makes sense. He immediately ordered the high-level members to move out to Silent Echo Forest. Once the news spread, even in the dead of night, the streets became packed with players. The newbie shops were filled with long lines. Everyone was heading toward Silent Echo Forest. Ling Su was no exception. He just needed to claim the dungeon portal at the entrance to join in. But the dungeon had level restrictions. Players above level 5 couldn't enter, and each team needed at least 5 people. A solo player like Ling Su found that annoying. Around him, almost everyone chose mid or low difficulty modes of Silent Echo Forest. A squad called Show Off Team activated the gold upper tier portal, but half an hour in, they found the boss had a mutation phase. It killed their teammates in just 2 hits. Right then, Ling Su bumped into the 4 players who mocked him earlier at the foot of Sunset Hill. His bright level 5 badge made the soft girl run up and start worshipping him. Unexpectedly, Ling Su let go of past grudges and said he'd carry them through Silent Echo Forest, sending a team invite on the spot. Ling Su reaching level 5 in a single day clearly meant he had real strength. But at this moment, he made one request. Everyone had to hide their IDs. After saying that, he turned toward the portal. The teammates were confused. Are we doing any pre-battle planning? A flash of red. Next second, a blood-red portal appeared before them. Turns out the dungeon Ling Su chose wasn't the upper tier mode, but the terrifying rage tier. Everyone instantly turned to stone, stuttering uncontrollably. Even the 5 great guilds don't dare challenge rage tier. Now let me, Ling Su, carry you through. The scene immediately drew every nearby player's attention. Embarrassed, the teammates urged him to hurry inside. But just as they were about to complain at Ling Su, a fire element gear piece appeared in each teammate's inventory. Ling Su had planned ahead while farming the Ant Army Basin. I distributed all the fire gear I had collected in advance to each teammate according to their class. Each piece was worth at least 10 silver coins. Monsters in Silent Echo Forest feared fire. This practically gave the team a safety guarantee. But Rage Tier would never be easy. Even with gear, the chance of clearing was small. Unexpectedly, Ling Su went full rich mode and dumped an entire chest of firebombs. With these, it should be enough. Each of you take 15 bottles. The boss won't be a problem. But then a new issue. What about the monsters along the way? Ling Su wasn't concerned. I'll tell you on the road. Then he clicked to change equipment. The next second, my eyebrows caught fire. As the flames wrapped around me, the new set fully materialized. The teammate, who was also a thief, widened his eyes. Was this the most expensive level? 5 thief set from the shop. My God, the Sparkfire set. That alone lit up everyone's morale. Even a Rage Tier dungeon. If there's a weakness, we can win. Let's go. The first Rage Tier clear is ours. Ling Su explained that the insect species here were extremely sensitive to danger. The forest was divided into 4 zones, each guarded by different monsters. Mantises, moths, and spiders in the first 3. To pass safely, they needed to find the neutral creature, the tying bird. With its natural predator effect, they could reach the boss without injuries. The teammates' eyes lit up, imagining what the bird looked like. Everyone assumed the tying bird was cute and cuddly, but in reality it was only dumb, not cute, loud, and gluttonous. Ling Su handed it a fat bug he prepared earlier. Once it had food, it surrendered immediately. The system message appeared. Tying bird is pleased. Hidden item acquired, tying flute. Ling Su smirked. Told you, there's no useless NPC in Tianyong continent. And with the flute, they could take a shortcut. A teammate asked, "Boss, how did you know there's a shortcut?" Ling Su couldn't say he had run this dungeon countless times in his previous life, so I used it was recorded in the library as an excuse. Unexpectedly, the teammate took out a pen and wrote down every word Ling Su said. Embarrassed, Ling Su opened the map. We're at the treehouse. In the center is a swamp that confuses explorers. Monsters there are scattered and messy. But with the tying flute, we can repel them. 1 second Xiaolan was proud. The next she was covered in stench after trudging through the swamp. The whole team complained. Ling Su said coldly, "If you can't accept even this small price, forget clearing Rage Tier." Quiet. We're entering the monster zone. Xiaolan whispered, "The mud ruined my skirt, and between my legs it feels all sticky." Suddenly she froze in fear, staring ahead. 2 level. 5 spiders spawned in the forest, their sheer presence making everyone tremble. Ling Su immediately blew the tie-in flute. The spiders shook violently like seeing a ghost, fear spreading through their bodies, then vanished in a single leap. Ling Su warned, "Stay close. The shortcut depends on the flute. If you fall behind, lots of monsters will be waiting to snack on you from above." He walked forward while blowing the flute to scare monsters away. After half an hour, they reached the safe zone, all unharmed. And before them was the Rage Tier boss room of Silent Echo Forest. Ling Su's heartbeat sped up, goosebumps rising all over. Everything before had tricks, but the boss fight relied purely on strength. So before fighting the boss, Ling Su had already discussed the plan with the 4 teammates. Each person would take 15 firebombs. To force the boss into the burning state, only 3 firebombs were needed, and in that state, the boss took extra damage. But firebombs had a throwing range limit, and during the throw, they couldn't move. So Ling Su assigned them fixed positions. Yes, stand at the specific cliff spot and wait until they pull the low HP boss over, then burst it down together to increase the kill chance. Meanwhile, Ling Su arrived behind the mud dragon in the swamp and looked at the sleeping creature. He sighed. Last life, he didn't know how many times he had fought it. Now that he was level 5 and had learned the combo stack skill, as long as he wasn't interrupted, stacking it to the limit and activating Surge from the Sparkfire set would make the mud dragon suffer. Ling Su used backstab, the white blade piercing the mud dragon's spine, saying, "Wake up and greet death." The boss woke from the pain and let out a deafening roar. It swung a massive hand, trying to smash Ling Su into the ground. Fortunately, Ling Su had invested enough in speed and barely dodged it. Then the mud dragon spat a green bean soup-like breath, trying to cool him down, not knowing that Ling Su mastered its attack range perfectly. His experience from the previous life was ingrained into instinct. He remembered the exact limits of every move the mud dragon had. But in midair, Ling Su had nowhere to dodge incoming attacks. Luckily, the backstab cooldown refreshed just in time. Ling Su kept attacking for an entire hour. His teammates waited so long they thought he had died. But in the party window, Ling Su's HP bar hadn't dropped a single point. Did the boss not even reach their leader yet? A message from Ling Su suddenly popped up in the chat. In the distance, dust clouds rose. Something massive was approaching. Ling Su told everyone not to move. He would pull the boss to the canyon center. Then Ling Su sprinted desperately, the one-ton mud dragon chasing closely behind. The teammates were shocked. Why was the mud dragon's HP only 1/3 left? How did Ling Su even manage that? The moment the mud dragon accelerated, Ling Su shouted, "Throw everything you've got." Panicking, the teammates hurled their fire bombs toward the canyon center. Fire was the natural enemy of insect-type monsters. Even a massive creature like the mud dragon couldn't deflect dozens of fire flasks. The mud dragon was forced into a burning state. Xiaolan felt a thrill inside. Throwing money at a boss felt way too good. 10 fire flasks rained down. The mud dragon instantly entered a void state, a sign of entering berserk. In this state, fire flasks would lose their lock-on target. Yet Ling Su told his teammates to throw the flasks at him instead. Everyone froze. Hitting a teammate would turn them red-named. Ling Su shouted, "Throw them at me." Pow Pow jolted, but still obeyed. "Good job, Pow Pow." The flasks meant for the boss all crashed onto Ling Su. Flames fused into his body. Fire wrapped around him. System notification. Special attack spark ignition activated. 30 seconds of fire immunity, and the next attack deals fire damage with 5 times extra damage to burning targets. 30 seconds. Dance with me in the flames. Meanwhile, outside the dungeon, players began speculating. If they weren't out yet, were they actually clearing it? The Jinmiao Guild's vice captain sneered, probably hiding somewhere to avoid embarrassment. But the squad leader disagreed. Surviving this long in a Berserk-tier dungeon was impressive on its own. Tiana remained silent, scanning surrounding players with a telescope. After over 2 hours, her intuition told her this random team wasn't ordinary. Inside the dungeon, the mud dragon exited void and entered berserk. The teammates timed their throws to keep the burning status going. Ling Su waited. Once berserk, the boss would definitely use that move. Red lightning gathered in the mud dragon's right claw. The canyon shook as rocks exploded. The thunderous impact shook the entire valley. Ling Su used precise micro-movement to jump through the cracks between each strike. Fire flasks thrown by his teammates became his long-range weapons. Everyone was stunned, dodging shockwaves while kicking incoming fire flasks at the boss. Who even played like this? System. Ling Su has taken no damage. Combo count. 3659. Ling Su activated the skill Torrent Rush, a technique only players with high agility could comprehend. As he closed in, he threw his last 14 fire flasks at the mud dragon's limb joints. Then he coated his weapon with fire from another flask. Torrent Rush, combo stacks, and spark ignition all detonated at once. A dozen flasks exploded simultaneously. As the mud dragon froze, Ling Su threw the final flask in its face. This was it. Break this flask and finish it. His strike carried the force of 3,660 combo-boosted hits. With spark ignition multiplying it 5-fold, the explosion roared. The mud dragon fell in flames. System. Team has defeated the boss, Mud Dragon, Lord of the Swamp. Xiaolan suddenly remembered what Ling Su told her earlier. You learned basic heal, right? Take the skill book, Basic Debuff Dispel. You'll handle the last part. Hearing Ling Su's call, Xiaolan immediately chanted both Basic Debuff Dispel and Basic Heal, keeping Ling Su's HP locked just as his fire immunity expired. If the Dispel and Heal had been 1 second late, Ling Su might have died on the spot. This kind of fish-net break tactic was way too extreme for him. Outside the portal, onlookers were already losing their patience. And right then, a global announcement popped up. Congratulations to player Nameless. First clear of insane tier, Dark Echo Forest. The beginner village instantly exploded into chaos. Tiana stared at the blood-red portal, her expression tense. Who commanded that team? She had to meet that person. Ling Su stepped out of the insane tier portal with 4 total burdens trailing behind him. The moment they cleared the dungeon, he received an invitation from the 3rd guild, Langya. Because of his previous life, Ling Su hated Langya. They used their guild status to wipe out leveling spots everywhere. After learning Ling Su was the team leader, Langya's 3rd squad captain sent a formal invite. Ling Su ignored it. 2 hours until server shut down. Let's go. The squad captain's face darkened as surrounding players turned their attention over. The vice captain said arrogantly, "This is a privilege for you." The squad captain added mockingly that Ling Su could enter one of Langya's subguilds. Ling Su fell silent. He had zero interest in any subguild. His 4 newbie teammates were stunned. The squad captain cursed, thinking Ling Su was some ungrateful orphan. Furious, he drew his weapon and shouted, "Come on, accept the duel right now." Onlookers hurried away. Langya had officially lost their cool. A solo duel prompt popped up in front of Ling Su. "Be a man and accept." Ling Su replied impatiently, "Stop being fragile." "I'm busy." The captain snapped, planning to kill him even at the cost of going red name. He cast a burst flame fireball straight at Ling Su. "System alert. You may defend yourself. Killing an aggressor will not grant red name." Ling Su sidestepped easily, dodging the spell's trajectory. A mage trying to kill a rogue? Dream on. The captain was shocked. Ling Su's micro-moves broke every expectation. And then, thorny vines erupted from the ground, blocking Langya's members. Ling Su turned. The caster was Tiana from the Jinmiao Guild. Langya's members cursed, "Jinmiao Guild's slut." But Tiana's eyes were fixed solely on Ling Su. His instincts told him she was the girl Daira had mentioned. Facing Langya's provocation, Tiana spoke firmly. "This rogue is a friend of our Jinmiao Guild. If you want a war between 2 top guilds, go ahead and strike." Langya's captain ordered his members to stand down. Clearly, Tiana was protecting him on behalf of Jinmiao. He growled, "1 week later, at the monthly guild war, we fight to the death." Tiana wasn't sure whether stepping in was right or wrong, but at least the immediate conflict was handled. Ling Su turned to thank her. She placed a hand on his shoulder and smiled lightly. "Looks like I owe you one now." Offending a major guild wasn't smart, so Tiana hoped Ling Su could help her with something. She wanted him to join the Jinmiao Guild temporarily and participate in the monthly war. She'd pay him generously. In her heart, Tiana was already calculating. This rogue's strength was worth digging into, and ideally, she wanted him under Jinmiao's banner. But Ling Su rejected her instantly. Even a temporary guild membership would restrict his freedom. Tiana panicked and quickly added that she could give him the loosest possible conditions. She only needed his help during the monthly war. Ling Su was puzzled. "I'm just a level 5 rogue. I'm not going to change the outcome of a guild war. And if you're afraid of dying and losing levels, then just don't join the fight yourself." Tiana felt helpless. Participating in the monthly war earned guild honor points. She had her own reasons. When she tried to speak again, Ling Su cut her off. "Let's add each other first. I'll reply before the monthly war." Tiana's face lit up. "Reply soon, okay? Joining still needs a simple test. I'll wait for your message." Then she opened Ling Su's profile and froze. He was only 17. A second later, Ling Su hid his profile again. Tiana muttered internally. 6 years younger, definitely a not-so-cute little brother. Nearby, the Jinmiao squad captain had witnessed everything. He sneered, "Just wait, kid." When Ling Su returned, his 3 newbie teammates started teasing him. He shot them a glare, instantly shutting them up. The Mud Dragon's drops this time were quite good, including the arm guard piece from the Sever Killer set. Ling Su kept the arm guard and sent all other loot to his teammates. After handling everything, Ling Su logged out. When he removed the VR helmet, it was already 7 a.m. The entire day had gone surprisingly well, and while playing, his real body still got full rest. Over the next 3 days, Ling Su took the 4 newbies to clear the insane dungeon 4 more times, and finally completed the remaining parts of the Sever Killer set before logging off on day 3. After hiding his gear, he parted ways with the 4 newbies. His next destination was the level 10 map, Moonchant City. Not for the boss, but because it hid the legendary rogue skill from his past life, Wraith Stealth. But the path was guarded by level 10 Wraiths near the waterfall's upper ledge. If he looped around and avoided them, he could reach the waterfall base. But when Ling Su arrived, he found pieces of Wraith corpses scattered on the ground. Someone level 10 has already been here? He couldn't relax for even a moment. Competition was everywhere. Ling Su climbed up the waterfall. The chest containing the skill book was intact, and no players were around. But anyone who opened this chest would be cursed. The moment Ling Su picked up Wraith Stealth, a curse latched onto him like worms, reducing all his stats by 60% for 6 hours. He only needed to find a safe spot to learn it. Then everything would be complete. And right at that moment, an accident happened. 3 players above level 10 walked up behind Ling Su. Level 6 Rogue, hand over the item. If Ling Su hadn't been cursed, he might still have been able to fight back. He immediately rejected the idea of surrendering the skill book to survive, because these people were from the Langi Guild. With their morals, even if he handed it over, they'd kill him and loot him anyway. Ling Su frowned. And if I don't hand it over? Seeing him put the skill book into his backpack, the Langia players grinned sinisterly and lunged at him. Ling Su instantly used backstab, slipping behind the archer. Taking out one threat was still worth it. But due to the 60% stat reduction, he couldn't even break through the archer's guard. His attack speed was also cut in half. Watching Ling Su jump into the middle of the crowd, the squad leader smirked. What? Here to tickle us. The next moment, the archer fired a lock-on arrow straight at Ling Su. Surrounded front and back, Ling Su could only rely on pure microcontrol. But with longer cast times, his skill got interrupted instantly. If he handed the item over earlier, at least he could die quickly. Now they'd kill him and loot all his gear, then hit him with Tendon Sever and silence him to death. Ling Su knew full well, once Tendon Sever landed, he'd die for sure. At the last possible second, he used Torrent Dash to dodge the Tendon Sever. Then he leapt above the archer. The moment the archer aimed, Ling Su activated Backstab in advance, leaving a phantom in the air, though it only dealt 50 damage. The archer froze. How is he still this strong with a 60% stat debuff? A nearby level 10 player wiped cold sweat. What kind of monster micro does this guy have? The squad leader snapped. What are you standing around for? Get him. While they were stunned, Ling Su pulled out a trigger bomb. War fog burst open around him, but only lasted 3 seconds. The Knight leader instantly used a wide-range dispel to clear the fog. But Ling Su had already fired his one-time grappling hook, ready to leap across the cliff. At that moment, the archer released a lock-on shot toward Ling Su's back. With no room to dodge, the bolt pierced straight through his shoulder. Murder filled Ling Su's eyes as he muttered inwardly, "I'll remember you, Langi Guild." He released the grappling hook and fell toward the base of the waterfall. The players were furious. Next time we see this kid, kill him back to level 1. Meanwhile, an arm suddenly reached out from the riverbank. Ling Su lifted his head from the stream. His HP was almost 0, but this hatred, he carved it into memory. Langi Guild, I don't mess with you, yet you came after me. Ling Su called Tiana from the Zhimiao Guild. Hearing his voice, Tiana stiffened in shock. He finally contacted her. Had he decided to join the guild? On the phone, his answer was firm. Arrange the test. I accept your invitation. Tiana asked excitedly, were you free? Ling Su replied without hesitation, right now. Word spread quickly. The Zhimiao test ground were already packed. Everyone was curious. Who could be important enough for Tiana to personally set up a test? Tiana led Ling Su to the exam area. The crowd thought it'd be some rich young master, but instead saw a level 6 rookie. Daira was shocked too. Tiana, you must keep this talent. Tiana agreed. A player like him would be key to future goals. The high-ups of the 3rd division were all present. Tiana introduced, this is Bai Lai, captain of our 3rd division. You only need to last 10 minutes against the assigned examiner. Bai Lai smirked. No need. I'll be your opponent today. Tiana protested. This is a normal assessment. You don't need to personally take action. But Ling Su walked forward calmly. Doesn't matter. Anyone works. Let's start. But the captain was level 9. Hearing Tiana whisper to Ling Su, Bai Lai grew jealous. What are you whispering? Come on, start. Tiana placed the evaluation band on Ling Su's wrist. The device scores a player's overall combat stats for guild placement. Under 100 goes to the third division, 100 to 150 to the second. Above 150 qualifies for the first. Ling Su added, "I'm under a 60% all-stat curse. Might affect the score." Tiana nearly collapsed. "How are you supposed to fight like that?" But Ling Su remained calm. 10 minutes left. "It's fine." Tiana sighed. "Well, I scored 92 back then, you know? And the duel was timed exactly at 10 minutes. In theory, rogues have an advantage over archers." Killing intent surged in by Lai's eyes. "Don't treat me like a casual player, little rogue." When he summoned the ice bow, Ling Su understood instantly. An agility build paired with a slowing ice bow. Without waiting for the signal, Bai Lai launched the first attack. A barrage of shots sealed all escape routes. Ling Su could only block. Bai Lai wore a smug grin. "Only blocking? Watch me break your guard." Ling Su raised his blade to intercept. He predicted the arrow's path with ease. But he underestimated the ice arrow. It detonated into a second hit. With a boom, Ling Su lost 120 HP. The crowd assumed Bai Lai was overwhelmingly strong. Only Tiana knew Ling Su was crippled by a 60% stat debuff. Then the wristband displayed his score, 85. Tiana froze. 85? How is that possible? Wasn't he cursed? Why is the score still so high? He still had 6 minutes left before the curse would end. Which meant, if Linger were in perfect condition, how high would his score actually be? The moment Linger launched Backstab, Bale unleashed blindness on the ground. Instantly, thick smoke filled the area, locking Linger's vision within 1 meter and blocking everything. At the same time, 4 arrows shot out of the smoke and pierced straight into Linger's limbs. Bale snapped his fingers. The arrows embedded in his limbs exploded on the spot. Tina couldn't help worrying. She had said not to accept the duel. Mustard Lord asked if Linger had been cursed. As a fellow rogue, he knew Backstab shouldn't take that long to land. Linger calmly replied that he was under a 60% all-stat reduction debuff. Bale scoffed from the field. 7 minutes left. "Little rogue, ready to surrender?" Linger snorted. "Surrender? You look more like you're venting anger." He dashed into the nearby woods while Bale froze for a moment. Bale followed unhurriedly. Tina and Mustard Lord also rushed toward the forest. If the curse ended, Bale would be in danger. Bale, completely blood-crazed now, pushed through the dense forest. After 7 minutes of chasing, he finally spotted Linger again. Linger curled his lips. "Squad leader, now it's your turn to run." The system chimed. The curse had ended, full stats restored. Only 1 minute of the test remained, but that was enough for a new evaluation. The tester's numbers skyrocketed, jumping straight to 140. Linger's suppressed combo burst out again, this time even smoother. Bale began doubting reality. What kind of monster player is this? Tina and Mustard Lord arrived just in time to witness the scene. Bale felt utterly humiliated. Damn it, I was acting earlier. Afraid of accidentally killing him, Bale canceled test mode on his own. Then he fired a locked shot at Linger. The arrow that should have hit without fail suddenly lost its target, because Linger triggered Backstab at that very instant. Bale didn't panic, planning to repeat his blindness trick. But just as he prepared to cast blindness again, Linger's Backstab crit landed instantly. How is he suddenly this fast? The fight wasn't over. Linger kicked Bale from behind. The damage was low, but the humiliation was brutal. Linger pinned his dagger to Bale's face and asked coldly, "Who did you say you were going to kill?" A dagger struck from the side, knocking Linger's blade away. Protective Mustard Lord said, "That doesn't count toward the test score." Linger welcomed the challenge. "Then how about you two come together?" Bale yelled from the ground, furious. "Idiot! Quit pretending. He's fighting me alone." Mustard Lord drew his black blade, eager to test him. Bale snapped. He said he can fight alone. As a fellow rogue, he could feel it. Bale absolutely couldn't beat Linger. Linger wasn't even using his full power yet. Tina stepped in. The test should end here. She warned them not to lose their heads. Bale wished he could tear Linger apart. "Mustard, he's about to use that move. Cooperate with him." Mustard Lord looked annoyed. For the sake of pride, had he completely lost his mind? With that, Bai Lai burned almost all his mana bar and cast his strongest ultimate toward Ling Su. An ice blade exploded above Ling Su's head, spreading outward in all directions. The system prompted, 0-degree arrow field forming in 1.5 seconds. Allies and enemies both affected. Last 5 seconds. Deals 60 magic damage per second. Tiana was stunned. She knew that once Mustard Lord's strike followed, Ling Su would be in deadly danger. But Ling Su didn't dodge or move. He just stood there, as if waiting for Mustard Lord to come. In the blink of an eye, Mustard Lord activated Sleep Backstab and hit Ling Su directly. Sorry, little thief. Tiana truly couldn't imagine what method Ling Su still had to turn the tables. Was I really too arrogant? Bai Lai, having landed his skill, suddenly felt his pride soaring. But Mustard Lord sensed something was wrong. Right then, Ling Su's body dissolved into a streak of purple light, turning into a wraith-like form. The next moment the system said, "You have fallen into fear state, duration 2 seconds." And right at that moment, 0-degree arrow field formed, and Mustard Lord took the full brunt of the damage, stealing the chicken only to lose the rice. A chill ran down Bai Lai's back. His pupils shrank as he stared behind him. Ling Su was standing there, pressing a blade against his neck. It turned out that at the instant the arrows exploded, Ling Su had used the rogue divine skill, Evil Spirit Stealth, creating a decoy at his original spot. The real spirit body remained invisible for 3 seconds, and the first strike after breaking stealth carried 300% critical damage. Tiana hurried over to mediate. Captain Bai Lai, with Ling Su's performance, he should pass the assessment, right? A dark silhouette walked out from inside the 0-degree arrow field. The assessment isn't over yet. A badge had appeared on Mustard Lord's chest. This device was originally meant to help him climb the arena rankings, but he believed Ling Su deserved the challenge more. For the next 15 seconds, he would gain an extra 90% to all attributes. Come, Ling Su, let him see my strength. Ling Su smirked, flipped his blade, and struck Bai Lai's neck with the blunt side. I'm only knocking him out for a moment. Don't worry, Tian Na. Help him aside. Because this stance, fighting with everything just to decide victory, Ling Su truly missed it. In his previous life, he had crawled and fought countless times in this very state. At this moment, the proof of glory on Ling Su's chest began to shine, and a formless power surged into him. Tiana, who was healing Bai Lai, suddenly paled. The assessment meter, which had been at 140, suddenly shot past 300 and was still rising. Ling Su, just what kind of being am I? Where's my limit? What was originally an ordinary guild assessment had now become a battle of honor. One side, the chosen bearer of the proof of glory, the other, the top rogue of Jinmiao, guild's third team. In his previous life on the Tianyong continent full of masters, he had crawled and fought countless times like this, wagering his last faith and dignity for honor. At that moment, Ling Su felt a surge of indescribable heat awakening again in his chest, and this aura seemed to be stirring something deep within the Tianyong continent. Mustard Lord was equally focused, not daring to relax. A level 6 Ling Su was unleashing the oppressive power of his max-level self from the previous life. He said he would settle victory with Mustard Lord within 15 seconds. Their first clash gave neither an advantage. Mustard Lord was clearly struggling. In the second clash, Mustard Lord seized the initiative. Yet Ling Su still dissolved the attack with extremely delicate microcontrol. Mustard Lord was shocked. This thief named Ling Su truly had incredible speed. But just as he prepared to activate Backstab, a large hand suddenly pressed toward his face. Impossible. His speed was still rising. Interrupting his Backstab wasn't enough. Ling Su followed with a fierce elbow strike that sent him flying. Mustard Lord barely regained his footing. Ling Su instantly rushed forward, making it seem as though he had gone blood crazy and lost all reason. The two were only 3 meters apart. Mustard Lord activated Backstab again. Certain Ling Su would never react in time. But Mustard Lord didn't know that in the game world, there exists a microcontrol state called Top Time, a state where one merges completely with the character, raising control and reaction to an extreme. And Ling Su is currently in Top Time. He turned the impossible into possible, His backstab triggered 0.5 seconds faster than Mustard Lord's, interrupting him in an instant. Mustard Lord stared at Ling Su in disbelief. Even with a 90% power boost, it felt meaningless before him. In the next moment, Mustard Lord unleashed his skill, Shadow Split Lock Kill. But immediately, Ling Su's fist had already reached him. He punched Mustard Lord flying again, breaking the skill once more. Even then, Mustard Lord refused to give up. He seized a desperate chance, using his left hand to stab Ling Su's dagger into his own body, intending to pin Ling Su down and then strike with the black blade in his right hand, wanting to make Ling Su pay in blood. In the critical moment, Ling Su effortlessly caught Mustard Lord's attacking wrist. Using Mustard Lord's own momentum, he executed a perfect 4 ounces moves 1,000 pounds counter. Finally, Ling Su successfully disarmed him, and the 15-second buff timer hit 0. The system notified that Mustard Lord had been disarmed. Once a weapon is seized or destroyed, all attacks lose their weapon bonus. Tiana, who witnessed everything, was speechless. Mustard Lord fell to his knees and rasped, "I admit defeat." Mustard Lord looked up at Ling Su and said, "You're strong. You passed the assessment. Tiana truly judged you right." Ling Su didn't linger and left with only, "Contact me at the moon battle." Bai Lai, crushed mentally, left in complete silence. Mustard Lord sighed and asked what Ling Su's final assessment score was. A bead of sweat formed on Tiana's forehead. Ling Su's final score is 86. Mustard Lord looked pleased. Bai Lai had 92, he had 90, and Ling Su now had 86. Interesting. He then instructed Tiana, for the guild's moon battle in 2 days, make sure Ling Su is included. After Mustard Lord left, Tiana's expression only grew heavier. She stared at the assessment panel in a daze. The number displayed was 993. A chill ran through her. Could the device be malfunctioning? The next day, Ling Su went alone to the Level 7 zone Desolate Gobi. To practice his new skills, he allowed himself to be surrounded by several wolves. Yet he remained perfectly calm. As the starving wolves lunged at him like predators, Ling Su unleashed Wind Blade Throat Slash, slicing the entire pack into pieces. Then he targeted the remaining alpha wolf, using Flash Step Strike to hit its head with heavy damage. He followed by activating the skill surge, triggering his new skill Bone Snap Spasm. Cracking sounds burst from within the wolf, as if its body exploded from the inside. To test the full effect of the new skills, Ling Su farmed wolves for 2 whole days and barely gained 1 level. He sighed. Solo grinding was indeed far slower than team play. At that moment, a voice prompt popped up. Tiana shouted angrily, "Check your messages. The guild's moon battle is starting soon. You're the last one we're waiting for." When Ling Su arrived at the Jinmiao base, he encountered a Beastman warrior desperately trying to join a team. "Please, I can tank the most damage for you." Yet no group was willing to take him. Others mocked him. "Little Flo, you're only level 5. Stop looking for abuse." That meant the moon battle slot he fought hard for was completely useless. But when Ling Su heard the ID Tiana mentioned, he froze. "What did you say his ID is?" Tiana looked confused. "He's called Zone Luzi. We all call him Little Flo." "What?" Ling Su's pupils tightened. In his previous life, one of the 6 holy shields, Shunshan Zonglio, his ID was exactly Zone Liozi. But why was such a titan reduced to such a weak early game beastman? Guild members continued mocking him. "Little Flo, it's not that we won't help you. You're always last place in the moon battle. Hard work alone can't fix everything. Don't drag others down." But Ling Su's words reignited hope in him. Ling Su said, "They're right. But because hard work isn't perfect, that's exactly what makes it interesting." Ling Su then extended his hand. "Do you want to join my team?" Zhong Luzi never expected anyone to reach out to him, and Ling Su did not yet know. This invitation would become the beginning of the future legendary team, Shadow. Meanwhile, the monthly guild moon battle sounded its horn. The great war between the 5 major guilds was about to begin. The battlefield was a massive independent zone called Infinite Holy Ruins, filled with bloodshed and fighting. Every portal opening represented another guild's fighters arriving. And the moon battle officially began with the roar of the drums. Because the terrain simulated canyons, most teams scattered immediately to find defensible positions. Ling Su's three-man team did the same. Tiana watched Ling Su move with ease and felt her confidence surge. Meanwhile, the captain and vice-captain of Jinmiao Guild were already dominating the battlefield. But Bai Lai's expression remained gloomy. Mustard Lord worried aloud. If Bai Lai can't overcome Ling Su's shadow, he may never break through again. But thinking of Ling Su only made Mustard Lord's fighting spirit flare. A teammate suddenly reminded him, "Wait, Bai Lai, why did you insist on coming here? Weren't we supposed to regroup first?" Bai Lai smirked, but there was darkness in his eyes. In the next second, a boom sounded as his teammate was frozen in place by magic. From atop the cliff, the Langya squad leader appeared with two members. "Yes, you've walked right into our ambush. And that is his skill, body restraint. Bai Lai, you did well. Sacrificing 3 teammates. Your guild entry trial is considered passed." Mustard Lord gritted his teeth and roared, "Bai Lai, you actually betrayed us." After killing the other 3, the Langya fighters moved toward Mustard Lord before being stopped by Bai Lai. Bai Lai said coldly, "He's my friend. I want to join Langya together with him." Mustard Lord growled, "Bai Lai, you just can't swallow what Ling Su did to you, can you?" Mustard Lord cursed furiously. "Betraying Jinmiao is one thing, but you exposed Tiana's location. You're worse than garbage." Bai Lai's expression twisted. "A woman I can have. No one else can. Those 2 shameless dogs can go die." Langya's squad leader sneered. "Joining us is 100 times better than staying in Jinmiao." Then the assassin squad sent a voice message. "Vice leader, we found Tiana." The Langya squad leader patted Bai Lai's shoulder. "Good job." He then deployed 5 agile thieves from the 3rd Division. But the next second, panic burst through the voice channel. "Captain, bad news. That mage called Tiana. She has a terrifying rogue guarding her. He's hiding right now to give you this message. That white-haired rogue is insanely strong. In just 3 minutes, he wiped out our 5-man squad. Only I survived." Hearing Tiana was safe, Mustard Lord finally relaxed. "Good thing we brought Ling Su." The last surviving assassin asked awkwardly, "Should I retreat first? The other 4 aren't revived yet." Suddenly he stiffened. "Why you're here?" A blood-red figure appeared behind him. Ling Su looked down and asked, "Can you let me speak to your squad leader?" Moments earlier, Ling Su had led his team away from the main battlefield because he sensed a swarm of bugs stalking them. So he widened the distance and ordered everyone to prepare for combat. Meanwhile, several level 6 assassins surfaced from the river. They had been tracking Ling Su's team underwater, using instant stealth to stay hidden. But Ling Su alone sensed something wrong. He activated 8-Sight Hawk Eye, detecting all hidden units within 5 meters. So the bugs were hiding in the water. The assassins realized they were exposed. They immediately burst out of the river, intending to kill the low-level players first. But Ling Su ordered his teammates to stay put and charge forward alone. Seeing only a level 7 rogue, the assassins lowered their guard. 2 intercepted Ling Su while the others went after the mage. Daira instantly recognized them. "It's Langya's assassination squad. Be careful." With a bang, Little Flo planted his shield in front of the team. "If you want to assassinate them, get past me first." 2 assassins launched backstab at Ling Su simultaneously. But Ling Su's body turned into a specter, his decoy. The assassins tried to retreat, but were too late, taking the full 2-second fear. The remaining 3 assassins froze for a brief moment. Ling Su broke stealth behind them. With a single backstab, he struck one, kicked another away, and blocked the third's movement. Then he activated Surge. His extreme attack speed forced all 3 assassins in a stagger lock, until he pushed all their HP down to 1/3. The members of the Jinmiao Guild went red-eyed with anger. "Huh, so you guys are the so-called squishy killers, huh?" At that moment, the 2 assassins affected by fear had just shaken off the debuff. But in the very next second, Ling Su was already behind them. He had activated his new skill, Shadow Step Flash, striking the back of their necks and stunning them. Then he smoothly chained into Bone Splitter, shattering their bones and tearing their tendons in an instant. The last remaining squad captain watched in horror, completely unable to interfere. He couldn't believe it. The white-haired rogue's controls were unreal, and the only thing he could do now was run for his life. Which led to the earlier scene. While the fleeing assassin was reporting to the Langya officer over voice chat, Ling Su, radiating killing intent, appeared right behind him. Ling Su snatched the voice device and spoke coldly. Langya's third squad, right? Wash your necks and wait for death. The officer's expression instantly darkened, uglier than someone who had swallowed filth. He snapped at Bai Lai. Someone explain, what monster is this white-haired rogue? After the traitor Bai Lai gave his explanation, the vice captain finally learned the truth. This white-haired rogue was Ling Su, the same man who once rejected Langya in public, now taken in by Zhimiao. Bai Lai insisted it was all Tiana's idea. Meanwhile, Mustard Lord's face turned extremely dark. He grabbed Bai Lai by the collar, ashamed that he had ever been his partner. He stated coldly that Bai Lai's betrayal and killing of teammates would be announced publicly, and that he would withdraw from this month's battle himself. From this moment on, Bai Lai's filth had nothing to do with him. If they met again, their blades would speak. Bai Lai's face went pale as death, yet his hatred for Ling Su only burned stronger. Then a notification popped up. Your friend, Tiana, has removed you. The Langya vice captain wore a gloating expression, clearly pouring fuel on Bai Lai's anger. Meanwhile, Ling Su tried to pry useful information from the last assassin. Give me the coordinates of Langya's vice captain. And since you're red named now, if I kill you, you'll drop gear and lose a level. The assassin immediately knelt, reporting the exact coordinates without hesitation. But the cunning Ling Su had no intention of sparing him. Let me teach you what real deception means. After a scream, the sixth assassin was sent back to the spawn point. Tiana deleted Bai Lai from her friend list at once. With Mustard Lord's life or death unknown, Zhimiao Guild's third squad would face a full reshuffle. Tiana thought, I must seize this chance. Once Ling Su obtained the coordinates, Tiana quickly formed a plan. The infinite ruins were divided into 3 zones: upper, middle, and lower. Everyone teleported into the lower zone, while the center zone held battles among the 5 guilds. According to Ling Su's coordinates, Langya's vice captain was in the eastern zone, perfect for pushing guild honor points. Guild rankings in the monthly battle depended on honor points gained from kills. Thus, if Ling Su's team could cross the central zone, they could intercept Langya halfway. Using the chaotic middle zone, they could prevent Langya from regrouping. Ling Su thought for a moment. You can hide your guild in the monthly battle, right? Tiana was surprised. You can, but no one does it. If you hide, points won't count toward your guild. Ling Su suddenly had an idea. Let's go to the center zone. With that, he put on a ghost spirit mask. At that moment, battles in the center zone were at their peak. Most players were fighting there for points. Watch out, those guys are old enemies. Charge. Huh, big talk. Last month you got wiped by them. Brothers, take them down. Just as both sides were about to clash, a masked, white-haired rogue burst out. Ling Su immediately backstabbed the tank. Then, in a flash, he wounded player after player, taking on 2 guilds alone. Ling Su laughed. I'm from Langya Guild. You've got 30 seconds to run. Langya's cleaning the field. Don't blame me for not warning you. Players stared at each other, shouting. Who the hell admits their guild while wearing a mask? Trying to smear Langya? But others thought, with Langya's nasty reputation, this style actually fits. In an instant, curses filled the battlefield. Ling Su roamed around sabotaging duels in Langya's name, making Langya everyone's target. Zhimiao members cheered. Ling Su is insane. He made all of Langya hated in such a short time, and he's even pulling off a frame job like this. In chaos like this, only his microcontrol can do it. Tiana wondered what surprises he would bring next. At that moment, Langya's vice captain arrived with his squad. The center zone was indeed overcrowded. As soon as they arrived, players swarmed them. Don't hit him. He's Langya's third squad vice captain. Damn it, he's the one we're targeting. The vice captain hurriedly cast multi-explosion. The attackers suddenly felt a strange gust sweep past. It was Ling Su moving rapidly through the crowd. The vice captain felt goosebumps all over. It was as if some monster in the dark had locked onto him. A moment later, screams erupted. One teammate after another was backstabbed by Ling Su. But every time someone turned, they only saw allies fall, never the attacker. The assassins in the squad suspected Ling Su did it. So the vice captain cast gravity suppression, increasing gravity fivefold within a 3-meter radius and having movement and control speed. All Langya members curled up inside the zone. The vice captain thought this would stop Ling Su from ambushing, but they underestimated him. Even under fivefold gravity, Ling Su still completed a sudden strike, capturing the squad's only female rogue. Instead of killing her, he dragged the rogue back toward the Jimiao squad, right under Langya's noses. Then he handed the rogue to Tiana as a gift. Tiana told Ling Su to untie the rogue, but even on the brink of death, the rogue remained arrogant. Scared? Good. Let me go. I promise I won't kill you 100 times like last month's guild war. Tiana's face instantly darkened. She wasn't afraid. She was simply deciding which spell would make the kill feel satisfying. As soon as she spoke, the wounded rogue lunged at her. The next second, a bundle of vines burst out of the air, trapping the rogue's limbs tightly. Tiana waved her small hand, and golden magic surged from her grimoire. The vines tightened violently, sprouting barbs and crushing the rogue to pieces. Her body dissolved into light and returned to the spawn point. Tiana said to Ling Su, "Thank you. This favor I'll remember." But now, to kill Langya's vice captain, Ling Su needed a strong helper. Just when everyone thought they'd be chosen, Ling Su turned to the weakest beast man in the squad. "Then I'll leave it to you, Zhong Liuzi." To confirm Zhong Liuzi's true identity, Ling Su invited him to join the assault on Langya's vice captain, Luo Mian. When Luo Mian learned his girlfriend had been sent back to respawn by Ling Su, he flew into rage. He ordered his subordinates to gather every third squad member. Touching his woman? Ling Su would pay for it. The traitor Bai Lai calculated frantically in the corner. "So that's all, huh?" He sneered, "Arrogant trash. I can't wait for the moment your throat gets sliced open." The next instant, Luo Mian was struck by a flying shield, a warrior skill that inflicts impaired action status. The one who threw it was Zhong Liuzi, and Luo Mian's last teammate was killed by a clean backstab from Ling Su. Ling Su apologized, "Sorry. I ended up leaving you all isolated." Luo Mian roared, "Naive. The main Langya force will arrive in minutes. I'll burn you to ashes right now." Immediately, Luo Mian began chanting, preparing to cast the large area spell 100 Flames Waltz. Ling Su realized he wants to drag me down with his woman. But in the next instant, Ling Su flashed to Luo Mian's face. "Idiot, you dare channel a spell in front of an assassin?" Luo Mian screamed, "Go die together, you filthy pair." The next moment, bone snap agony struck. Luo Mian's flesh exploded with a wet crack. He would bleed out slowly. But Ling Su wasn't done hunting Langya. He turned to little Liuzi. "Come with me. I want to confirm something." Before Luo Mian's HP reached 0, Bai Lai suddenly rushed in and shielded him. "Leave the deputy captain to me. I've led Jimiao. I'll avenge him." A system pop-up appeared. Bai Lai has been promoted to temporary vice captain of Langya's third squad. Meanwhile, Ling Su and little Liuzi charged into the central zone, killing anyone wearing the Langya emblem without mercy. Little Liuzi had a problem. He talked non-stop, able to fire off 10 sentences in a single second. But bringing him along this time was to verify whether he was the early-stage Sacred Mountain Zonglio, one of Tenyong's 6 divine shields. Before the monthly war began, little Liuzi had mentioned he possessed a special blessing skill called Courage, but he had never used it since he had only recently obtained it. Ling Su was stunned. So special skills really do exist? In Tenyong continent, many unknown special skills indeed existed. A single encounter could change a player's entire life. And if the blessing little Liuzi mentioned was truly one of them, then he might very well be the real Sacred Mountain Zonglio. Just as Ling Su was spacing out, a group of dark silhouettes emerged from the fog ahead. It turned out the Langya squadron captain had personally led his team over. Ling Su recognized him instantly. Isn't that an old acquaintance? Last time he opened the ghoul chest, Langya players ambushed him, and the one leading them was this very third-tier captain. At that moment, Bai Lai squeezed out of the crowd, sneering, "Ling Su, we meet again." Seeing Bai Lai's ID, Ling Su only felt amused. So he really did go wag his tail for Langya. The enemy had overwhelming numbers. Even Ling Su couldn't endure dozens of attacks at once. He told little Yozi, "Don't panic. I already expected a brutal fight like this. Little Yozi, I need to confirm the exact function of your courage blessing." Just then, Tiana rushed over with the rest of the squad. Ling Su exclaimed, "Why did you come here? Didn't I tell you to stay in the safe zone?" Tiana replied, "Langya must be coming in force. Of course we came to support you, and you're the leader. Do you expect your teammates to ignore whether you live or die?" Ling Su shivered. Right. After spending his previous life fighting alone, he had almost forgotten what the word teammate meant. With Bai Lai's shout, a swarm of Langya players charged toward the Jimiao squad. Ling Su roared, ordering his team to take their positions and prepare for the clash. Tiana quickly formed an ice shield, blocking part of the incoming attacks, but far from all of them. Dyla rushed in front of Tiana and shielded her with her whole body. The enemy assassins sneered, "Not surrendering? What are you waiting for, Death?" With Tiana's shield buff, Dyla cut through the front line like a warhammer. "You think you can one-shot her?" She activated her greatsword skill and sent the assassin flying 100 meters. But two rogues slipped behind Tiana, preparing to backstab. A small beastman raised his shield and tanked the blow for her. At the same time, Ling Su had already circled behind the two rogues. In the next instant, Wind-forged daggers struck for 120 crit damage each, wiping all three attackers instantly. But dragging the fight on meant nothing now. The squad had run out of healing potions. So Tiana used her remaining mana to cast Leaf-Vine Dragon on the entire team. Little Liozi looked on with sparkling eyes. "Sister Tiana, you actually cast a mid-tier spell." The shield finally gave the team a moment to breathe. But in the next second, an ice arrow pierced through the mage's body, too sudden for any healing to keep up. Bai Lai smirked. "Not bad. Didn't expect the two of you to pull off such a clean combo." At that moment, the shield was shattered by Bai Lai and the others. The heavy mages from Langya seized the momentum and unleashed Fireball together. Ling Su chose to leave little Liozi behind. He was going to burst someone down, and the teammates were entrusted to little Liozi. Without Ling Su, little Liozi felt as if the team's backbone had vanished. Before leaving, Ling Su left one sentence: "Bring out your courage." In a flash, Ling Su dashed toward the rear of the Langya formation. That single sentence echoed endlessly in little Liozi's mind. Courage, where exactly was his courage? Jimiao instantly became the target of all attacks. Countless skills rained down, and teammates told little Liozi to fall back. But little Liozi planted his shield firmly in front of everyone. His teammates were on the verge of death, and little Liozi's HP bar had only a sliver left. Yet even so, he refused to lose his teammates due to poor protection. Fearless, unwavering, like clouds entering the mountains. A blazing golden light crashed into Zongliuzi's crown. System prompt. Blessing courage awakened. His original gnome-like body suddenly shot up to 2.5 meters. With a body nearly 4 meters tall, he blocked all incoming attacks through sheer mass alone. Ling Su finally confirmed his guess. Yes, this was undoubtedly Shunshan Zonglio, one of the future 6 divine shields. After his body was strengthened, little Liozi's skills changed as well. He immediately activated the skill Rectangular Destruction Zone. Anyone within that area suffered continuous impact and was slowed by 30%. Bai Lai told Langya not to panic yet, just treat him like a boss. This size isn't new to us. Under Bai Lai's orderly command, Langya rebuilt their formation. But after long periods of casting, most mages were already out of mana. Next, little Liozi cast a full party buff. His teammates' magic resistance and physical resistance instantly rose by 50%. Victory was tilting toward Jimiao. Little Liozi tore a massive boulder out of the ground with his bare hands, his aura surging. The next moment, he hurled it with his new skill Meteor Throw, aiming straight for Lang Yu's backline. The boulder weighed at least a ton. The impact alone shattered the archer's formation. Why are you spacing out? Move! Ling Su seized the moment and slipped behind Bai Lai. By the time Bai Lai reacted, it was too late. His pupils shrank as his HP plummeted. Ling Su's dagger pierced straight through his heart. He never expected Ling Su to cross the battlefield unharmed. Bai Lai, do something. Why are you frozen there? His teammates turned around. Bai Lai had already been tossed toward them by Ling Su, not only blocking the movement of 3 archers, but also spreading torrents damage across all 3. Ling Su's final target was the Lang Yu squad leader. Ling Su appeared beside him without warning. The squad leader clenched his teeth and instantly cast a knockback. Ha! Overconfident little thief. The instant Ling Su was struck back, his body turned into a wraith. His true body was already behind the squad leader. This is the skill you tried to steal. I'll use it to kill you today. Feel its fear for yourself. With a 200% critical boost, he sent the squad leader straight back to the respawn point. Using Little Streamer's protection, the wounded members of the Jinmiao Guild successfully retreated. After gaining enough breathing room, Tiana cast the high-tier spell Sky-Piercing Earthrend, wiping out nearly all members of the Lang Yu Guild. In the end, the 6-man team of Jinmiao secured first place on the squad leaderboard, though the guild still held the 5th spot on the overall ranking. But on this joyful day, a server-wide announcement caused an uproar. Congratulations to Level 15 player Motionless Darkmark for becoming the first to complete a class change on Tianyong continent, awakening at 99% and becoming the very first awakened. Because of that, Ling Su didn't celebrate with Tiana and the others. At the moment, Ling Su stood by the riverbank, dazed. Behind him, monster corpses had piled into a small hill. My eyes slowly filled with frustration and anger. I punched the surface of the water, venting my jealousy. Motionless Darkmark is way too fast. 3 months to reach level 15. And in this life, he awakened at 99% again. Am I slacking too much? It's only been a week since I entered the game, but I've already gotten too comfortable. I need to raise my level first. The experts from my previous life must already be accelerating. In this world, strength is everything. That's why I want to form a fixed party, and Little Streamer is my first member. After all, in Tianyong continent, clearing dungeons above your level is the fastest path to leveling. Ling Su then steadied his resolve. He must not lose his rhythm because of Motionless Darkmark. Just then, Ling Su noticed a silhouette in the bushes, about to log off. Yet someone else came to such a remote place like me. With doubt in his mind, Ling Su followed the figure. But when he arrived, the person had already disappeared. This was already deep inside the map. Curious, he walked through a small cave. On the other side, a man wearing a bamboo hat was opening a treasure chest. Who would have thought a chest existed in such a deserted place? Just as Ling Su was speechless, I saw the man's ID, Motionless Darkmark. It was actually him, meeting him here of all places. In my past life, you were a being I could never reach. In this one, I swore I wouldn't lose to anyone. But in the few seconds I got distracted, Motionless Darkmark vanished from my sight. This cave actually lets me see his angle. Damn, I'm basically a creepy stalker. Ling Su's pupils shrank to the size of grains. Sensing the killing intent, Motionless Darkmark glanced sideways. Kid, leaking killing intent? Trying to fight him? Ling Su introduced himself. I'm Ling Su, level 7 rogue. Motionless Darkmark waved dismissively. No need. He's not interested. Since you have no hostility, leave. He turned back to continue opening the chest. But instead of leaving, I actively challenged the #1 player on the entire server. Motionless Darkmark tilted his head. Not bad, kid, but he'll only fight you once. In that instant, countless combos flashed through Ling Su's mind. Motionless Darkmark declared the duel started. Ling Su burst out at maximum speed. First, find Darkmark's weak spot. At my speed, he might not block it. In just 3 seconds, Ling Su analyzed him 100 times. Still not fast enough. I must push harder. At the same time, Darkmark was observing Ling Su as well. The next moment, Ling Su charged straight toward him. Then I used backstab, slipping behind him. Hey, got him. But Motionless Darkmark grabbed him by the throat. and slammed him into the ground. Warrior skill, shoot US ceiling strike. A final critical hit landed, nearly emptying Ling Su's HP bar. Motionless Darkmark spoke deeply, good movement. Entry-level peak state, but I'm still too weak. The ones he fought were far stronger than me. You're the same, just wasting time. Since his rebirth, Ling Su had never known defeat. Yet now he was utterly crushed. Darkmark sighed. I'd better fully hide my ID. The match is over. Don't bother him again. Ling Su felt like ants were crawling all over his body. I'm not satisfied. I can't accept this. At that moment, the glory token in my arms began to shine. In his past life, Ling Su lost his parents and was bullied all the way through high school. Tianyong continent was the only place he ever felt seen. Being looked down on, it hurts worse than death. In an instant, the glory token burst into golden light. Motionless Darkmark turned his head. Ling Su's aura had sharply risen. I said each word clearly. It's not over yet. Motionless Darkmark showed a hint of surprise. With killing intent dimming in his sharp gaze, Ling Su said, I'm not dead yet. In a blink, Darkmark dashed 100 meters and stood before him. He grabbed Ling Su by the collar. So, I actually have that thing? Darkmark stared at him seriously, then burst into laughter. I see. Kid, you're still just a candidate. You haven't awakened yet. Hearing candidate, Ling Su finally understood he was talking about the glory token. You know about the glory token? But it's supposed to be a unique quest item. Darkmark smirked. So what I have is also a glory token. Since I'm still a candidate, I'll explore on my own. Tianyong continent is full of possibilities I can't imagine. Ling Su, right? He'll remember that. Their fight now meant nothing. If I become strong enough, they will naturally meet again, and the thought actually excited him. At that moment, Ling Su swore to himself. Next time they meet, he will win. Motionless Darkmark, you're indeed strong. But in this life, I'm confident I'll surpass you and take the title of Tianyong's #1 from your hands. For now, he needed to level up first. His dream super team wasn't ready yet, so he sought help from Tiana. Due to Bai Lai's betrayal, Tiana had become the 3rd squad leader of Zhengmiao. And this time, Ling Su's target was Mustard Lord, the deputy leader of the 3rd squad. Ling Su took Little Streamer and waited early at the dungeon gate. Mustard Lord spent a fortune hiring members of Zhengmiao's 2nd tier. 2 were mages, level 9 and level 10. Another healer, level 9, arrived and lectured Ling Su immediately. Challenging a dungeon this high level? Don't waste their time. Ling Su sighed. Knew it, always that face. Then he announced seriously, Hello, I'm the party leader for this run. Our target is the Dungeon Broken Vow Monk, and we're challenging the highest difficulty, Maniac Tier. A level 7 rookie challenging a level 10 dungeon, and the hardest Maniac Tier at that. Instantly attracted their ridicule. Does this idiot not even know basic common sense? Even the 1st tier wouldn't dare say they could clear Maniac difficulty. So Ling Su decided to shut them up with pure strength. And in the Dungeon Broken Vow Monk, there were 3 types of mobs with different tiers. The short-sighted Unseeing Monk, the calm-eared Unhearing Disciple, and the tight-lipped Unspeaking Hall. Then Ling Su handed everyone a hook, just when they were confused about what the grappling hooks were for. Ling Su said, this time, we'll use a group division tactic. After hearing the rumors of Ling Su shining in the guild's monthly war, the unwilling teammates had no choice but to trust me. Then everyone used the hooks to reach the bamboo forest platform. No one knew what Ling Su was planning. Group D was the damage team of 3 mages. Group C was the positioning team formed by Little Streamer and Hammer. Group B was the kiting group, with only Mustard Lord alone. This unheard-of formation shocked everyone. Coordinates have been shared. Follow my call before acting. Mustard asked suspiciously, Ling Su, what are you going to do? Ling Su sold the mystery. You'll know soon. Wait for me to come back. Mustard Lord felt the division was too scattered, with no chemistry. One team fight and they'd be wiped instantly. While everyone was doubting Ling Su, my voice came through the channel. Prepare for team fight. More than 50 unseeing monks and unhearing disciples were chasing behind a full HP Ling Su, rushing straight toward the formation. scaring little streamer almost into running away. The damage team prepared slow and control spells. The positioning team set their shields at the assigned spots. The kiting team, Mustard Lord, loaded his arm crossbow. All right, ready. Even under 50 mobs attacking in waves, Ling Su dodged everything with micro moves. I'm only level 7. How is he doing this? Clearly Ling Su was actually the fourth group, the pull and control group. The next second, the mages cast their slow spell. Strangely, the hit rate reached 80%. It turned out Ling Su had already calculated the terrain, so casting at my shared coordinates greatly increased accuracy. The kiting group prepared to shoot the frontmost mobs with their arm crossbows to keep them from leaving the aggro range, while Ling Su took all the remaining mobs himself. And with such meticulous planning, Ling Su not only used the terrain advantage to the extreme, but also maintained both offense and defense. In the end, the sheer number of mobs formed a natural auto-blockade. The key was this level 7 rogue named Ling Su not only had incredible movement skills, but I was also multitasking to command the team. How was I still moving so casually? I must record this run. So Hammer from Tianjue Guild opened the video recording button because the tactic Ling Su was using right now was absolutely an epic level strategy for the Broken Vow Monk dungeon. Positioning team, get ready. You don't have any aggro on you, so make sure to block those mobs approaching the damage team. Since this strategy was so rare, the female mage's legs went weak and she had completely run out of mana. While the other mages were excited, eager to cast, the feeling of hitting dozens of mobs with just one spell was amazing. The good part of partying is that even if Ling Su stands in the middle of the spell formation, he won't take friendly fire. But the moment the female mage refilled her mana, she wanted to fight again. Ling Su commanded. The mobs got pulled by the mage's aggro. Positioning team, any issues? Trying to act tough? Both of them said there was no problem, but too many mobs came charging in. Just as their HP bars were about to hit 0, Ling Su unleashed the rogue skill Windblade Throat Cut. I have to say my support was perfectly timed. The damage team continued blasting with destruction-type magic. Right then, the female mage finished her chant, and an enormous field of destructive flames erupted at the center of the formation, burning the already low HP mobs almost completely. Meanwhile, Ling Su weaved back and forth through the gaps between the mobs, dealing damage while giving commands. My effortless movements kept refreshing my teammates' trust in me. Even this Maniac-Tier dungeon suddenly felt easy. At the same time, the first wave of mobs was cleared. 2 waves left. I'll go pull. Mages, refill your mana. Then continue using the same tactic. Elsewhere in the dungeon, the guild leader of Tianjue Guild received the video Hammer sent. Brother Songyun, he's running the Maniac-Tier Broken Vow Monk with some friends from Zhengyao. This rogue is insanely strong. And now, I'm actually soloing the Maniac-Tier elite mob, the Unspeaking Hall. With the team's flawless cooperation, the mob's Unseeing Monk and Unhearing Disciple were wiped out completely, leaving only the elite Unspeaking Hall. Only by killing it could we force out the dungeon boss, Broken Vow Monk. Yet at that moment, Ling Su stepped forward alone to draw the aggro of the Unspeaking Hall. Its rune-covered arm blocked my backstab, and even knocked Ling Su back 5 meters on impact. Of course, Ling Su wasn't reckless. Before challenging the Unspeaking Hall, he had already planned everything out, because mages cannot deal damage to the Unspeaking Hall, and normally you'd need a tank and a warrior to slowly chip it down for 20 minutes. But Ling Su said he only needed 10 minutes to solo it. Magic was ineffective because of the prayer beads on its neck. As long as they were destroyed, magic would work again. But that required microcontrol, meaning only Ling Su could do it. In addition, Ling Su had an attack stacking skill. If he maintained 0 damage taken and stacked enough combos, he wouldn't need to worry about lacking final damage. Mustard Lord reminded him to be careful. Ling Su leaped into the detection range of the Unspeaking Hall, unleashed a full backstab, circled behind it, but still failed to deal heavy damage. What Ling Su needed to do now was combo stacking, and during constant repositioning, seized the moment to destroy the prayer beads on the unspeaking Hall's neck without getting hit. When the beads shattered, the unspeaking Hall let out a deafening roar. At that moment, Ling Su could clearly feel the movements from his previous life, and his memories of the game grew sharper and sharper. He could even perform these maneuvers with his eyes closed. His teammates all came to the same conclusion. Yes, only the word ghost-like could describe it. My agile movements paired with extreme speed were like a venom-fanged giant serpent. And this level of performance was known as top time, a peak state only a very small number of players could reach. Little streamers stayed behind Ling Su, ready at any moment, while Ling Su kept jumping back and forth in the vision blind spots of the unspeaking hall, destroying most of its prayer beads. Then he told the damage team to prepare destruction magic. In the next moment, the three mages gathered lightning, fire, and earth destruction spells. Ling Su used high-speed movement attacks to seal off the unspeaking hall's paths. Right before the spells landed, Ling Su activated Spectral Substitute, leaving a specter behind to frighten the unspeaking hall while his real body turned invisible for 3 seconds. The system notified. Combo count reached 639, Shadow Flash triggered, carrying the 200% crit bonus from Spectral Substitute. With all three destruction spells landing at the same time, even a nearly full HP unspeaking hall was slain in one strike by Ling Su. System message. Elite mob unspeaking hall has been killed. Hammer, watching from the side, unknowingly opened his mouth wide. Guild leader, this rogue is basically a god. Outside the dungeon, the guild leader of Tianjua nodded. What surprised him was that this rogue actually knew breaking the prayer beads would disable the magic immunity mechanic. This rogue, named Ling Su, clearly had something. Jingluo, if it were you, could you do it? Jingluo admitted he couldn't. Their guild's first-tier team only cleared the broken Val Monk dungeon at special difficulty. Back then, when they fought the unspeaking hall, they relied on a tank to hold while everyone else chipped away slowly. Not to mention how Ling Su even knew the trick. He truly couldn't do it. The key was the top time peak state. He couldn't understand why someone like him was only in Zhengmiao Guild's 3rd tier. Someone like Ling Su was a talent he needed to get close to. Guild leader Songyun grinned and told Hammer to invite him to try the newest dungeon. But at that moment, lightning crackled inside the broken Val Monk dungeon. The Maniac tier boss, Broken Val Monk, was finally appearing. Of course, fighting a boss doesn't allow many tricks for no damage clears. Under Ling Su's commands, they shaved off nearly 2/3 of the boss's HP, which meant the Broken Val Monk entered its berserk phase. The chant appeared. From breaking vows, I become Buddha. Why not bow to my wasting aura? And instantly, all spell attacks became ineffective. Ling Su told the team not to panic. The Broken Val Monk had 6 arms. Destroying any 4 subordinate arms would cut off its skill output nodes. Hammer thought this tactic was absurd. On this difficulty, trying to destroy specific parts was crazy. Just killing it all was impressive. But Ling Su explained, my previous damage points were aimed at the boss's 4 subarms. Now it's time to reap. Little streamer, with me. I need your strength. Little streamer was ecstatic. Ling Su trusted him this much. He absolutely couldn't let him down. While rushing in, Ling Su ordered Mustard Lord to keep holding aggro. Cold sweat ran down Mustard's forehead. No one had ever seen the Maniac tier Broken Val Monk berserk moves before. In the next second, the upper subarms of the Broken Val Monk released fire and wind attributes, while the lower subarms released lightning and earth. All 4 attributes forming seals at once. This was terrifying. Trying to resist me, the Broken Val Monk, all alone? Ridiculous. As it spoke, it unleashed all 4 elements simultaneously. Yet just as the attacks were about to hit Ling Su, Spectral Substitute blocked the fatal strike for him, and at the same time, the boss triggered Spectre Fear. But right before the fear effect could land, the boss instantly recited a complicated scripture. Spirits and demons, retreat 3 steps. Ling Su seized the moment and appeared behind the boss, only to be immobilized by the Broken Val Monk. But Ling Su wasn't afraid. The distance was perfect for finishing the fight. With blade wind slash, he sliced off all four of the boss's subhands in an instant. Little streamer, your turn. Show him your strength. Everyone broke into cold sweat, assuming little streamer would be blown to pieces. At the instant their fists collided, little streamer activated Courage Blessing. Lightning wrapped around his body, and he actually withstood the boss's punch. In a blink, little streamer grew massive, unleashing mountain lifting strength and pushing the boss back, allowing Ling Su to break free. Ling Su then came up with a method to kill the boss effortlessly, but it required little streamer's power. No one present expected the tiny scorpionkin to be the key to defeating the maniac-tier broken Vow Monk. Lionheart Shield, a special skill granted by Courage Blessing, could stun enemies within range for 0.5 seconds. Little streamer charged toward the boss with his shield, but after a thunderous crash, the broken Vow Monk merely paused, then regained awareness, and counterattacked little streamer. Finally, it coated its arms in scripture, intending to end the giant in one punch. With doubled magic and physical resistance, little streamer stood unmoving like a mountain. Then he merged his two shields into one, and an impact 3 times stronger than before exploded on the spot. When the dust cleared, the broken Vow Monk's left hand had been shaken apart. Just as it attempted to attack again, a giant hand thrust through the smoke and slapped the boss across the face, sending it flying. Ling Su, just like you said, I've tossed the boss over. Ling Su had already been waiting at the edge of the cliff. Only then did Hammer realize what Ling Su meant. Could he be planning to use the terrain to kill the boss? At the moment the broken Vow Monk passed over Ling Su's head, Ling Su activated Backstab, correcting the boss's falling trajectory. If you don't enter hell, who will? Fall into the abyss. Then Ling Su used Shadow Flash, slashing the boss dozens of times midair, though he himself fell off the cliff as well. But the single-use grappling hook he prepared earlier saved him, and with his killing method, there wasn't even a corpse to loot. Yet Ling Su shivered, because even with its HP bar empty, the broken Vow Monk was still speaking. You and I are both breakers of vows, doomed to eternal damnation. The strange part was, only Ling Su could hear it. As he pondered its meaning, the system announced, "Congratulations. The team has cleared the dungeon. Maniac-tier broken Vow Monk record has been refreshed." After exiting the portal, Hammer looked at him with pure admiration. Ling Su kept only the petrification ring and gave all other materials to his teammates. This also pushed him to level 8. Seeing the warehouse full of loot, Mustard Lord grinned widely. Little streamer reached level 7, but didn't get suitable gear. What made him jealous was the healer, who somehow got a Weeping Buddha staff with plus 12 spell damage. Ling Su laughed. Little streamer, don't worry. I'll power level you through more dungeons. You can pick whatever gear you want. At that moment, Hammer interrupted little streamer's chatter. Brother Ling Su, our Tianjue Guild's leader, Lone Cloud, would like to meet you. Could you give us this honor? Soon after, Ling Su arrived at the headquarters of the Tianjue Guild. The commercial street at the entrance was packed with people. I haven't even visited the Zhengmiao Guild headquarters, yet I'm here at yours first. Hammer laughed. You're kidding, Brother Ling Su. With your strength, Zhengmiao should be assigning you tasks every day. Ling Su sighed. I'm just a third-tier thief. Seeing his humility, Hammer couldn't help but respect him even more. In Ling Su's previous life, Tianjue's guild leader Lone Cloud was one of the dominant figures of Tianyong, known as the #1 violent bow. At that moment, Ling Su smelled the scent of potions. Following it, he asked, "You're already training alchemists?" Hammer explained, "We're just hiring freelance kings to sell their stuff." This reminded Ling Su, alchemists wouldn't actually emerge as a true variant of the mage class until half a year later. Suddenly Ling Su thought of something. In his previous life, the alchemist industry made money hand over fist. If he started cultivating alchemists now, he'd never worry about funds again. And the one who monopolized the potion market, a so-called potion emperor, Vankaf, was still just a rookie mage right now. The more he thought, the more excited he became. This had to be done immediately. At that moment, Tianjue's vice leader Jing Luo interrupted Ling Su's thoughts. Seeing the walking treasure box of his past life, Ling Su was inevitably a bit unsettled. 3 minutes later, Lone Cloud offered his hand. Nice to meet you. He was a strength-type archer, and after watching Ling Su's Maniac Tier dungeon run, he said, impressive work. No need for polite talk. He wants to be friends with brother Ling Su and run a dungeon together. How about it? A level 15 dungeon, the one that updated to special tier 2 hours ago? Cataclysm Graveyard. Lone Cloud grinned widely. Brother Ling Su, think you can handle Maniac Tier? Jing Luo wondered privately. Could Brother Cloud be trying to gauge this thief's true power? Ling Su didn't beat around the bush. Guild Leader Cloud wants the Maniac Tier first clear, right? But my price is high. Lone Cloud laughed. Brother Ling Su, straightforward as always. Formation and supplies will be my call. I'll act as captain, and I'll handle reward distribution. How's that? I have no reason to refuse, Ling Su replied. I just need a few more days to reach the right level. In just half a minute, the two reached an agreement. At that moment, Ling Su made a request. He needed the Tanjue Guild to find 3 basic skill books for him. Swift Shadow Stab, Butcher Slice, and the debuff removal skill Calamity Reversal. Sanyan glanced at Jing Luo, who looked completely relaxed. He then ordered his men to search for Calamity Reversal. The drop rate was low, but he promised they'd gather all 3 within 3 days. For a major guild, resources like these were easy to obtain. But Ling Su had a doubt. He asked, "You two are already level 15. Why haven't you promoted to Awakeners yet?" Their answer broadened his horizons. They said, Ling Su, you might not know this. During promotion, your awakening rate is evaluated. Someone like Budong Anwen with a 99% rate is extremely rare and terrifying. That was why they were currently researching whether there was any method to raise their awakening rate before taking the test. Ling Su suddenly remembered the truth from his past life. It all made sense. The promotion quest was actually an awakening rate assessment. The higher the value, the stronger the final power gained. No wonder so many powerful awakeners appeared later on. Ling Su then turned to leave. I'll go level up first. I'll contact you in a few days. After he left, Dubu Songyun sighed. What a strong guy. He has that fierce drive of a true powerhouse, completely convinced he'll succeed, pushing forward without fear. Jing Luo laughed. I'm looking forward to seeing him again. Once I finish leveling, I want to spar with him. Meanwhile, on the commercial street, a level 3 porcelain doll named Fangcaf was tightly protecting the potions in his arms. A passerby mocked him. Fangcaf? What kind of filthy tough guy name is that? Your potions are ridiculously overpriced. 1 silver just to consign it, and the random stats you get are garbage. Believe it or not, I'll smash your whole scam shop. But Fangcaf wasn't afraid at all. Instead, he provoked, go on, smash it. Smash it. The guards have arrested my old customers more times than I can count. Seeing the NPC guards behind him, the crowd exchanged confused looks. But the customer quickly came up with a solution. As long as it wasn't intentional destruction, the guards wouldn't intervene. As the two kept shoving each other, most of the potions on the stall ended up completely ruined. At that moment, someone stepped out from the onlookers, a true talent scout. Yes, it was Ling Su. He thought, if that guy rolled a positive attribute, his attitude would definitely be different. Still, 1 silver per potion was indeed expensive at this early stage. Fangcaf explained, materials are extremely scarce right now, and the cost is much higher. Besides, my success rate for making normal potions is 0. I can't fight or kill. I can only make potions. So this is all I can do. Ling Su stared at the girl's ID for a long moment, unable to recover. Hearing 0 success rate for normal potions, Ling Su became certain. She was the alchemy emperor Fangcaf from his previous life. Ling Su asked, puzzled, have you joined any guild? Fangcaf frowned. Who would invite a mage who doesn't even understand potion effects? Anyway, thank you for today. Ling Su seized the golden opportunity. You can join the 3rd team of our Jimiao guild. Tiana is my friend. And if I'm not wrong, Fangcaf, you must have a special skill or trait, right? Fangcaf panicked. How do you know I have a special trait? Ling Su then brought Fangcaf to meet Tiana and little Yozi. The two future powerhouses glared at each other the moment they met. Tiana whispered to Ling Su, your new teammate. Is she the one? looking at little Leozi, then at Fancaf. She muttered, "Little Leozi can transform, sure, but this little girl won't also transform, right? Don't tell me you have a weird hobby involving kids. I'm calling the guards." Ling Su broke into cold sweat. "Don't talk nonsense. I just want you to help her reach level 5. Fancaf questioned, "Ling Su, will you really provide money and a place for me to make potions?" Ling Su answered firmly, "Yes. But you must reach level 5 first. It works better that way." He added, "Tiana, I'll trouble you for a bit." Before leaving, Fancaf tugged on Ling Su's cloak. "What I asked before, is it true? Can I really become the strongest alchemist?" Backlit by the light, their silhouettes overlapped. "Yes, you will become the strongest." The system announced that a portal had opened. Ling Su reminded little Leozi, "Don't underestimate Fancaf. She has a blessing skill, just like you. Essence Blessing. It's an extremely powerful alchemy-type blessing." Knowing how strong blessings were, little Leozi asked then, "Brother Ling Su, where are we leveling? Let's go. We need to hit level 12 before running Catastrophe Graveyard again." Ling Su said he had a near-cheat leveling method, so they traveled to the map called Hedon City, paradise for ice and fire mages. The quest song of Ice and Fire here was originally made for mage parties, but the first boss allowed other classes to join. Players could team up with NPC mages to form a 150-man army. In short, NPC mages plus any class player equals wipe the enemy faction and earn tons of EXP and loot. Little Leozi immediately spotted the problem. "But if he and I become opponents, how do we form 150 people? We'll be waiting forever." Ling Su explained, "That's the second trick. The system hasn't set a minimum team size yet, which means even if you and I are opponents, the system will automatically assign each of us 149 NPC teammates. Clear enough? Then with the final mechanic, we can execute a full exploit-level leveling plan." Little Leozi was completely confused, but the exploit plan made him excited and anxious at the same time. The system announced that Song of Ice and Fire had begun. Assist your faction and kill as many enemies as possible within the time limit. Ling Su was assigned to the Fire faction, while little Leozi was assigned to the Ice faction. It was a classic Invasion Canyon map, perfect for large-scale mage bombardment. Each of them had 149 elemental NPC mages. It was called an exploit because all you needed was to tap an enemy NPC once. When they died, you gained their EXP. This was the third buff. The only difficulty was touching all 149 NPCs without dying. But every risk was already part of Ling Su's plan. If too many players joined, EXP would be split. But now, with one player per faction, the EXP gain would be insane. The first step was to rush into the opposing faction. Since the base was dangerous, they stocked up on potions in advance. Then they used grappling hooks at the border between the Ice and Fire factions to reach the designated spot. According to Ling Su's past life memory, this bug would be fixed in a few days, so they had to reach level 12 before the patch. The system prompted, "You have attracted a large number of Ice mages." Ling Su used Backstab, jumping behind the Ice mage's backline. With the rogue's mobility, he quickly struck the NPC mages. NPC mages weren't weak. Their stats were system calculated, though their cast time was slow. The difficulty was that they fired long-range spells. Fortunately, Ling Su had Spectre Vanish to dodge the heavy hits. After 20 minutes, Ling Su had fully drawn aggro from all 149 mages. Now he just had to wait for little Leozi to do the same. Little Leozi was nearly on fire. He ran out of potions and was chased endlessly. Ling Su glanced over, relieved that his courage blessing doubled his magic resistance. Their second step was to return to their own factions while holding full aggro. Then came the show. Both sides' 149 NPC mages clashed instantly. Personal aggro transformed into massive faction warfare. Magic beams collided in the air, exploding into fireworks like bursts of color. NPCs on both sides fell one after another, turning into EXP, gear, and items that were sucked into Ling Su and little Leozi like a vortex. The mission ended soon, because healing mages could resurrect allies. The Fire faction lost 136 mages, and the Ice faction lost 191. Fire faction won and earned an extra 10 silver. Countless items filled their bags to the brim. Little Yozi panted, "Brother Ling, Su, even though we leveled up, cleaning this battlefield is exhausting. We each wiped out over 100 NPCs." Ling Su reminded him, "Lots of gear dropped. Your bag is limited. Pick only what's valuable." Sweating, little Yozi said, "Even though this quest is once per day, leveling once a day is still pretty good." Ling Su immediately splashed cold water on the excitement. The EXP needed for the next level is 3 times the previous one. So every time we run Song of Ice and Fire again, the number of NPCs in the raid has to triple as well. Otherwise, one run won't be enough to level up. Just then, Ling Su received a system mail. "You have received 3 items from Jingluo Weiyu 10. When he opened it, they were exactly the 3 skill books he had negotiated for. The Tanjua people really are efficient. With this, Ling Su took another solid step toward preparing for level 15 and his class promotion. "Let's go, little Liozi. Time to resell our gear." Ling Su gazed toward the mountain peak, his silhouette growing sharper in the fading light. "In this life, how high will my awakening rate reach?" As the two of them happily exited the dungeon, a hot-tempered girl suddenly crashed into them and knocked them over. Little Liozi instantly spammed a barrage of mocking chat windows. Instead of apologizing, the red-named player actually took the initiative to attack the talkative little Liozi. Ling Su felt that she looked strangely familiar. In the blink of an eye, a spell had already slammed into little Liozi, and the system prompted, "You are allowed to defend yourself." Turned out this violent lady was a level 12 battle mage. "You little shorty, who are you calling names? People like you only learn through violence." The next moment, little Liozi activated Courage Blessing. A crack of lightning burst beneath his feet, blasting the battle mage backward. This scorpion runt can even grow larger? At that point, a dagger was pressed against the violent girl's neck. Ling Su said calmly, "Miss, calm down. He didn't mean to offend you. That last hit is more than enough. Little Liozi, you calm down too." Little Liozi was forced to stop. The girl left without a word. Ling Su mused, a short-haired battle mage. "I remember now who she is. In my previous life, she became a legendary figure." Ling Su told little Liozi to quickly close those chat windows. "Let's go. We still have leveling to do tomorrow." 3 days later, all players received a new participation rule for Song of Ice and Fire, and the bug that Ling Su exploited was fixed at the same time. But before that patch, they had already completed that day's Song of Ice and Fire run as a pseudo-solo exploit. In 4 days, little Liozi had reached level 11, and Ling Su level 12. This immediately drew attention from other players. Don't tell me they were solo queuing, one per faction, beating on each other in there, and they went in under level 10 last time. Did the system restrict the player count because of them? Ling Su glanced at little Liozi. "You're just a sliver of EXP away from level 12. For the next couple of days, help me out in Jinmiao by power leveling Fancaf." Just thinking about Fancaf made little Liozi feel bored. Over the past few days, he had earned a lot of money from selling gear. Ling Su reminded him, "Save it for now. It'll be useful later." After saying goodbye to little Liozi, Ling Su let out a long breath. Finally, these days of grinding are over. Boring as it was, he had managed to farm a full Tiangang Aegis set. Perfect preparation for Tanjue Guild's level 15 dungeon, Catastrophe Graveyard. Hitting level 12 now also met the minimum requirement. Next up was upgrading his weapon. Ling Su headed to the PvP arena. He spent 1 silver to buy an entry ticket from the ticket seller. The arena was filled with live broadcasts of players from all classes fighting each other. Ling Su's goal here was the gear rewards. In his previous life, top players in Tianyong made fortunes by camping the arena. As long as you won 6 consecutive matches against players of the same level and earned a sufficiently high rating, you would receive equipment matching your current level. Before heading out, he needed to challenge a player first. Suddenly, a voice came from behind. "Why are you here?" Ling Su turned around, slightly surprised. The battle mage questioned him. "Am I here to avenge that little scorpion dwarf brother?" Tilly stared at Ling Su with a proud, superior look. She was a regular at the arena. I'm level 12 too. How about a match with me? Facing the top player from his past life, the reborn Ling Su had to teach her a lesson. He hid his personal info, and the match began at the referee's signal. No one thought this unknown rogue could win. Tilly's was a rising star of PvP. With high offense and high defense, she had to finish a rogue quickly. As soon as it started, Tilly's launched first with Fire Serpent Dance. Lingsu not only pulled back, but also stood perfectly still. Spectators mocked. Tilly's has this in the bag. Tilly's pressed the attack, smashing her staff down at Lingsu. But Lingsu used Spectral Substitute, turning the fear effect to flip the match instantly. His real body appeared behind Tilly's. The next moment, her unique Battle Mage skill Dispel removed the fear. Her sweeping staff strike missed. Lingsu dodged by a hair. At the same time, Lingsu landed a backstab. He smirked. A melee mage is still a mage. That attack delay is huge. He then triggered his new skill Shadow Piercer, turning into a shadow, teleporting behind her, hitting instantly, and applying a 0.5-second blind. Tilly's vision went completely dark. Lingsu followed with a sharp right roundhouse kick, sending her flying out of the ring and winning the match. But Tilly's didn't rage. She accepted defeat directly. This rogue kept shifting positions and messed up my sense of distance. I let my guard down. Lingsu looked down at her and said, "This round is mine. See you around, Tilly's." Just as the referee announced the result, Lingsu won with an S rating. Tilly's proactively issued another challenge to Lingsu. She lost the PK, but she refused to accept it and wanted another round. Facing Tilly's challenge request, Lingsu hesitated. This girl's stubborn temper was exactly the same as in his previous life. "Come on then, I accept your challenge." Tilly's knew very well her movement speed couldn't beat Lingsu, so she had to restrict his actions. After knocking Lingsu back, she immediately began chanting the skill Ripple Binding, a control-type spell that could forcibly immobilize an enemy for 1 second. Little did she know Lingsu had already prepared, just as her staff was about to strike his face. His preset skill Calamity Rebound activated, bouncing the immobilization back onto Tilly's herself. Lingsu followed with a left kick, sending Tilly's to the edge of the arena. The moment the bind expired, he closed in and landed a basic attack. The referee announced Tilly's had been knocked out of the ring. The match was decided. Once could be luck, twice being pushed off the stage. This rogue was way too strong. Tilly's still refused to accept it. "Come on again." Lingsu looked at her and replied, "Sure." She entered the arena again and again, each time losing with an S rating by a narrow margin. After half an hour, Tilly's had already lost 5 matches. But Lingsu surprisingly noticed that in just a few PKs, Tilly's reactions and movement improved rapidly. She kept learning during battle, advancing fast. Her microcontrol even touched the threshold of top time peak. Just as Lingsu was about to use Shadow Flash Strike, Tilly's had already prepared her defense. He was forced to use Arcane Shadow Clone to dodge. The moment he was airborne, Tilly's finished chanting her ultimate Flame Surge. Foom! Temperatures around them spiked sharply, as if Lingsu's body was about to melt. "Your casting speed is fast, but you forgot to restrict my skill this time. The one you hit wasn't me." Turns out Lingsu had already activated Spectre Vanish. A dagger pressed against Tilly's neck. Tilly's knew clearly she lost. She still wasn't able to defeat him yet, so she surrendered. Lingsu canceled Spectre Vanish. The referee announced Lingsu won with an A rating. He needed 6 consecutive S wins to obtain the rare set. Damn, my level 12 dagger dream is ruined for now. Meanwhile, Tilly's also walked out of the arena, winning 6 perfect rounds against her. Dream on. How about adding each other as friends? Don't get the wrong idea. Adding you is only for scheduling the next rematch. At this moment, Lingsu recalled his previous life and thought silently, "Tilly's. I didn't expect we would cross paths again in this life. If I told you what happened to you later, you'd think I was insane. You were never someone who should have gone through those things." Lingsu hiked. "Next time, I'll definitely beat you." Lingsu stayed silent, but prayed in his heart, hoping Tilly's could be stronger than she was in the last life. To obtain the new weapon, Ling Su started another round of 6 consecutive PK wins. The next 6 matches ended without suspense, all S ratings. In the end, unable to withstand the players' enthusiasm, he was pushed to set a terrifying 39-win streak. Inevitably, the nameless rogue once again made it onto the Tianyong forums. After that, Ling Su returned to the 3rd squad of the Jimiao Guild. Not bad, Fan Kafu. You reached level 5 so quickly. Good work, everyone. Fanka fast in confusion. Since I'm level 5 now, does that mean I can officially start potion making? Ling Su flashed a bright grin. That's exactly why I came. Then his eyes lit up. We can begin planning. Fan Kafu, do you want to help me build a business empire? With a confused expression, Fanka followed Ling Su to an ancient 1,000-year-old bookhouse. Come on, go in and see your future private workshop. Inside were countless books and exquisitely crafted alchemy instruments. Fanka was overjoyed. This treehouse was a treasure to her. Ling Su then took out a few popular potion scrolls and handed them to her. Your task is to successfully craft 10 positive effect potions every day. Before Ling Su finished talking, Fanka was already looking around the room, unwilling to miss any detail. But her success rate was low, and she worried about wasting materials. Ling Su told her not to worry. He had prepared 30 sets of materials for her. Just study hard. All of this cost him only 3 gold coins, 30,000 copper, but winning over a future powerhouse made it worth it to him. Seeing her still worried, Fanka fast. What if everything fails and we lose everything? Ling Su immediately put on the face of an evil capitalist. Compared to your Essence Blessing Potion, a few gold coins are nothing. Once you train more alchemists and build Tianyong chain stores, you'll become the richest person in Tianyong. I've even thought of a name, Pharma King Chain Store. Yes, boss, I'll complete the mission. Fanka was instantly energized, while Ling Su silently endured the pain of his thinning wallet. Right then, the guild leader of Tianjue Guild sent a message. Brother Ling Su, is everything ready? Ling Su grinned wickedly, planning to earn a huge sum from Tianjue Guild this time. Soon, Ling Su teleported to the headquarters of Tianjue Guild. Once people heard he was the team leader for this catastrophe-class graveyard run, the chatter along the way never stopped. At that moment, Dubu Songyun finally came to greet him. It was obvious. This was Chairman Songyun's first test, deliberately spreading news to pressure him. Anyone lacking real strength would panic and expose flaws. This so-called number 1 violent bow, the chairman of the Tianjue Guild, hid a meticulous mind beneath his rough appearance, flashing that friendly big white grin from time to time. A real smiling tiger. By the way, Brother Ling Su, Jingluo wants to spar with you. He couldn't talk him out of it. This was the guild's second test. Jingluo greeted him, Brother Ling, so long time no see. Not exactly a duel. I mainly want to understand your style, so we can cooperate better in dungeon runs. Jingluo pointed behind him. Behind this door are 2 war simulation beasts our guild bought. Usually we use them for training. Rules are simple. We each fight our own little monster for 10 minutes, and the result is judged by performance. When the titanium gate lifted, a level 15 war mammoth stood inside. This was their so-called little monster. All of this was arranged by Lone Cloud, because the doubts behind him were getting too loud. He sighed inwardly. Whether I can convince everyone depends on his display. 9 minutes later, the arguments outside grew even louder. The level 15 war mammoth had massive HP, and all its skills were AoE. But I heard this rogue once led a team to slay a frenzy-tier world-breaker Buddha. A female mage scoffed. Jingluo should stick to his commander swordsman builds. In truth, Lone Cloud had already predicted the outcome. At that moment, the 10-minute trial ended. Their outlook? Vice Chairman Jingluo stepped out without losing a single drop of HP. His war mammoth had been reduced to half HP. Ling Su followed, and unbelievably, he also hadn't lost a single drop. Meanwhile, the war mammoth inside looked like it was crying. Its HP hadn't been touched. Clearly Jingluo had won in a crushing way. Young rogue, don't feel bad. Staying unharmed is already pretty good. However, Lone Cloud's lips curved slightly. Jingluo had lost. It turned out a small corner of Jing Luo's cloak was missing. He explained that he had used his long sword to interrupt the mammoth's attack and dodged its AoE with skills, but because he focused too much on offense, one of its tusks scraped off a piece of his cloak. Ling Su, on the other hand, never even drew a weapon. He relied entirely on microcontrol and movement to stay locked with the mammoth, unable to cast any skills, yet always maintaining a razor-thin distance. Without question, Ling Su had entered the peak top-time state of a rogue. Lone Cloud's smile grew even brighter. Brother Ling Su, no need to delay. Allow me to serve as the captain. Let's begin preparations for the Calamity Graveyard Dungeon. Soon, the group arrived at the map. The ground here was made from crushed skeletons. Complaint from nearby players echoed. Forget the last floor, he can't even clear the second. Even the top guild only cleared the special grade version. Fifth run today, still wiped at the first wave of corpses. Maybe only 2 guilds can clear this. The next second, the Tanjue Guild squad entered with high profile. The guild leader and deputy guild leader both came. Is Tanjue here to break a record? Quick, record this. They'll be on the Tianyong forum tomorrow for sure. And that rogue with the captain marker. Never seen him in Tanjue. Is he really going to command the leader and deputy leader? Turns out Ling Su was the one wearing the captain's marker, leading the guild leader and deputy leader of Tanjue Guild into the insane tier dungeon. The moment the blood-red portal opened, it drew every player's gaze. Isn't that rogue from the Zhengmiao Guild? Why is he running a dungeon with Tanjue? People from Zhengmiao immediately recognized him. This was exactly what Lone Cloud wanted. Push Ling Su into the spotlight and test his ties with Zhengmiao. But it didn't affect Ling so much, it still hadn't touched Zhengmiao's interests. The team comp was 3 tanks, 3 mages, 1 swordsman, 1 archer, 1 rogue. Enough damage and defense even for insane difficulty. As the rogue, Ling Su naturally took the aggro drawing role. Calamity Graveyard had 3 floors. Compared to the normal version, to pass the first insane tier floor, they needed to kill all Skeleton King troopers within 9 seconds. But Ling Su had the fastest method. He rushed alone toward the skeleton troops, immediately pulling all their aggro. Lone Cloud drew his bow, ready to fire. It was obvious. Ling Su rushed in to gather mobs, the classic one-wave clear. Of course, gathering scattered monsters was extremely difficult. One person alone was not enough. Lone Cloud was eager to see if Ling Su could pull it off. In the next instant, Ling Su activated the skill Go Stealth. He actually managed to split into 2 fronts to pull mobs. Once he launched an attack, the stealth would break, revealing his real body to take aggro. And before the ghost decoy vanished, he could still control its movement to gather monsters. The map showed that most monsters were being pulled by Ling Su alone. At that moment, Ling Su signaled the mage to cast Immobilize immediately, making sure it covered the entire skeleton field. It went smoothly. The mage's Immobilize locked the whole area. Next, everyone split into 3 damage groups to deal evenly across the field, and Ling Su would fill in whatever damage was missing. Lone Cloud shot him a look of approval. This number of Skeleton King troopers had been perfectly divided into 3 parts, avoiding the failed plan he originally imagined. With Ling Su's command, skills exploded like fireworks everywhere. After 6 full seconds of roaring explosions, the system announced, first floor cleared. Second floor portal activated. The staging area for the dungeon was now packed, everyone nervously waiting for results. The second floor housed 12 terrifying guardians known as the Zodiac Witches. The system warned, all witches must be killed within 6 seconds. If even one survives, all will resurrect. And after that, the field must remain free of any skeleton soldiers for 9 seconds straight. Lone Cloud chuckled mischievously. These witches do look pretty nice. Ling Su, confident as ever, said, Lone Cloud, Jing Luo, why don't you 2 clean up the skeleton spawns first? Same as floor 1, 9 seconds. Lone Cloud's fighting spirit ignited instantly. How about the 3 of us compete? See who kills more. The 3 tanks in the back protected the mages. After 20 minutes of non-stop bombardment, Lone Cloud unleashed Extreme Aerostorm, wiping out the weakened skeletons on his side. Jing Luo gathered his skeletons, pierced them with precision thrust, then followed with sword breath surge, clearing his entire wave. But Jing Luo stepped into the witch's attack range because of it. He sliced a fireball apart with one sword swing, but the system warned, "Your weapon durability has decreased by 46%. Turns out insane tier dungeons cause severe equipment wear. Under the witch's non-stop bombardment, the team could only defend passively. Meanwhile, Ling Su, who had no AoE skills at all, relied solely on speed and repositioning to kill a massive number of skeletons on his own. The teammates sighed, saying this guy's efficiency was terrifying. Jing Luo's face darkened instantly, his eyes carrying a hint of killing intent. At that moment, Ling Su sent a message. "Lone Cloud, I'll weaken all the witches. In the final 3 seconds, I need you to cast your AoE skill to clear the remaining skeletons and low HP witches." Ling Su had this confidence because he had the Heavenly Gang support set. The earlier Song of Ice and Fire quest was all preparation for this dungeon. The skill was single-use, but granted spell immunity and lasted 20 seconds. Lone Cloud noticed it immediately. This kid prepared thoroughly and even brought the Heavenly Gang set. Looks like every step is within my plan. With the current attack frequency and magic penetration of the 12 Zodiac Witches, nobody except Ling Su could even get close. This was the mechanic that troubled players the most. And with Lone Cloud, the powerhouse archer, supporting from the backline, killing all 12 witches was no issue. Ling Su cast Violent Slice, maximizing his physical damage. Because the witches had magic immunity, their only weakness was low HP and vulnerability to physical attacks. His task was to bring all 12 witches to low HP. When the spell immunity timer hit the last 3 seconds, Lone Cloud, who had been charging up, finally unleashed his attack and activated Death Grafting. It was an advanced archer skill. If the damage killed one witch, the excess damage would jump to nearby units, continuing until it failed to kill. Since Ling Su had reduced all the witches to low HP, the grafting easily wiped the entire front row. Ling Su was about to signal the mages to finish off the rest, but Lone Cloud's arrow continued, instantly killing all witches below 1/3 HP. The system message appeared, condition met, no undead remained for 9 seconds. 3rd floor portal unlocked. Prepare for the final corpse tide and terror. The group finally reached the 3rd floor of the Cataclysm Crypt. A massive circular staircase stretched endlessly, and skeleton soldiers revived 12 seconds after death. At the lowest level rested the boss, the Wailing Colossus. Every time its HP dropped by 30%, it summoned an elite undead mage, and every skeleton within 5 meters revived instantly. On insane difficulty, when the boss dropped to 30% HP, the undead from floors 1 and 2 revived and flooded upward. The clear condition was only one: kill the boss at all costs and in the Cataclysm. Hearing this, Lone Cloud felt a headache. Last time he tried a higher difficulty, killed skeletons revived and rushed back. Tanjue barely reached the boss, but its magic damage was overwhelming. After shaving 1/3 of its HP, the elite mage appeared again with endless summons. They couldn't even touch the boss afterward. Ling Su, however, looked relaxed because he had the fastest clearing method, and only he could do it. He would draw away every undead on the path. Hearing that, Lone Cloud immediately aligned with Ling Su's plan. That was exactly the idea he'd been waiting for. If Ling Su used his top time peak state to lure all undead alone, and Lone Cloud coordinated from above, then once the boss and mobs were separated, their win rate would skyrocket. Ling Su froze in shock because the plan Lone Cloud mentioned was exactly the method I used in my previous life to deal with skeleton soldiers. Ling Su had absolute confidence in his movement skills. The remaining difficulty lay in teamwork. If Lone Cloud slipped even slightly, Ling Su would be drowned by the undead in under 3 seconds. After giving Lone Cloud the final reminder, Ling Su vanished from his spot. Lone Cloud trusted Ling Su because he had reviewed the recordings of Ling Su clearing the Breaker Buddha boss countless times. Moreover, He believed Ling Su's strength was far beyond that. Let's just wait for his performance. Ling Su leaped alone into the bottom of the endless circular stairway, where thousands of undead were waiting for my arrival. Each time he passed a floor, I pulled the aggro of hundreds of skeleton soldiers. And once it started, stopping was impossible. As time passed, the skeleton's aggro multiplied, shrinking my movement space, forcing Ling Su's microcontrol to sharpen continuously. Lone Cloud squinted and muttered, "Did you notice? His footwork is still evolving." Ling Su seemed to enter a serene, empty state, where only his heartbeat could be heard. I even felt the skeletons behind me slowing down. After 3 minutes of non-stop kiting, my top-time movement was clearly stronger than before. Meanwhile, at Tanjua Guild, everyone exclaimed, "This movement is textbook level." They had repeatedly watched the top guild clear the advanced difficulty. They relied entirely on overwhelming damage and brute resistance. Lone Cloud chuckled. "So what? On insane difficulty, brute force isn't always the answer." As soon as he finished speaking, he began charging his violent bow. Tanjua was determined to secure this insane difficulty speed record. Meanwhile, Ling Su had already pulled all monsters to the very bottom of the circular stairway. We meet again, Wailing Colossus. Just approaching the boss, Ling Su felt undead magic surrounding him intensify several times over. Lone Cloud, get ready. As the skeleton soldiers close in on Ling Su, Lone Cloud's violent bow finished charging. Even he didn't dare hold back this time. But in the next instant, his aim locked directly onto Ling Su's head, deep within the undead swarm. The golden arrow shot toward Ling Su like lightning. But he felt no fear because the arrow curved mid-flight and stabbed straight into the Wailing Colossus's waist. The boss's casting was interrupted by Lone Cloud. Furious, the boss turned around and shot upward from the abyss toward Lone Cloud above. This was part of Ling Su's plan all along. His next task? Deal with the skeleton soldiers below and keep all of them trapped at the bottom. Above, Lone Cloud instructed teammates to prepare their attacks. The next second, the Wailing Colossus appeared and let out a deafening roar. The tanks opened their shields. Even if you die, the mages must not. Mages, unleash destruction magic with me. Don't let Brotherling so look down on Tanjue. In the next second, the howling giant spirit gathered spiritual energy in its mouth. A heartbeat later, it released a fear breath that blocked Tianjue's first wave of attacks. But that opening allowed Jing Luo to approach the boss, and this was Tianjue's planned first phase tactic. However, a Maniac Tier boss was far from simple. Just as Jing Luo prepared to unleash Sky Split Slash, the howling giant spirit spat out hundreds of wraiths. System prompt: you have fallen into fear. As expected of a Maniac Tier skill, its range is doubled. Jing Luo immediately used Holy Aura to cleanse all negative effects. It turned out Jing Luo's advance was meant to bait out the giant skeleton spirit skills. With the boss now in cooldown, it could only endure Tianjue's mage's devastating bombardment. The guild leader reminded them, once the boss drops by 30%, you must interrupt its summoning skill. The camera shifted to Ling Su, still cleaning up the aftermath at the cliff bottom. President Songyun, I'll head up soon. Ling Su's fastest return method was backstab. Using this skill, he propelled himself toward the ladder leading to the second floor. But he couldn't drop skeleton aggro, where the remaining skeletons would regroup. He then used Shadow Flash to blink up to the third floor. The skeletons below had almost fully gathered. Ling Su cast Evil Spirit Stealth, taking over the aggro. Then he launched Rapid Shadow Stab toward the skeletons on the top floor. System prompt: you have escaped skeleton guards aggro. But Ling Su left them a parting gift. Yes, Substitute Wraith. A second later, it exploded at the abyss bottom, its fear blast wiping out all remaining skeleton soldiers, while Ling Su didn't lose even a sliver of HP. But right then, the boss reached the 30% HP mark, and corrosive miasma began spreading. Jing Luo, who was supposed to interrupt the boss's summon, was blocked outside by the miasma. The boss was about to complete the summoning of an elite undead sorcerer. It's over, it's over. Leader, They can't interrupt in time. But the grim-faced lone cloud suddenly brightened. Ling Su had already reached the howling giant spirit's back. "Leader, don't worry, I can still interrupt it." Everyone who had been ready for a full wipe widened their eyes. With a single simple backstab, Ling Su actually interrupted the boss's summon. Lone Cloud teased, "If I were any slower, he'd definitely scold me." "Howling giant spirit, huh? Now it's our turn to hunt you." Ling Su ordered. "Pull aggro off me now. Mages, keep up the DPS. MT, watch the boss's AoE. Leader, Vice Leader, kite it with me." N-tier Jing Luo took the lead, but Ling Su's strike pulled the boss's aggro right back. And a moment later, Jing Luo's Radiant Wheel Slash pulled the boss's aggro away once again. But still wasn't over. An arrow aimed straight at the boss's waist, combined with attacks from 3 different angles, pushed the boss further into a chaotic state. Jing Luo sighed inwardly. Ling Su wasn't affected by any of their skills and even kept matching their attack angles. "My movement technique, it's already stronger than last time." Ling Su's constant growth was simply monstrous. Anyone with eyes like his could never be ordinary. "I clearly have the qualifications to carry the first raid team in the Zhengmiao Guild, yet I'm willing to stay in the 3rd tier team. Or am I planning something entirely different?" Jing Luo directed his question toward Lone Cloud. Lone Cloud simply replied, "A strong one needs no reason for anything. If you join Tanjua Guild, we'd be unstoppable." Meanwhile, the Howling Giant Spirit lost another 30% of its HP. Lone Cloud called out to Ling Su, seemingly wanting to say something, but swallowed it back. The boss had triggered its second summon. This time, skeleton minions and a mental shock debuff would appear. So the ads were handed over to Lone Cloud. Lone Cloud was curious. How did Ling Su know so many details? Ling Su could only fabricate a reason, claiming a friend in the top guild bought the information. The next second, a newly spawned skeleton had its skull pierced clean through with a single arrow, and the aftershock wiped out an entire cluster of skeletons nearby. Lone Cloud was this strong, truly worthy of the title Heaven's Fiercest Bow. Immediately after, Jing Luo used his physical penetration skill Brilliance, shattering the boss's chest shield in one blow. Ling Su exclaimed, "Fighting alongside future monsters like them felt incredible. Coordinated, disciplined, flawless." The next instant, he used Rapid Shadow Stab to blink behind the boss. Using the blindness state, he forcibly interrupted the boss's second summon. Seeing this, the mages instantly ramped up their magic output. As mana poured out, the boss's HP plummeted from 40% to 30%. This triggered the boss's final stubborn skill, Calamity Surge, summoning and resurrecting all undead creatures from floors 1 and 2. In the next second, skeletal soldiers and the Zodiac witches emerged from the portal. But now the mages had completely run out of potions. It was said the top guild failed precisely at this phase. Yet Ling Su claimed it wasn't a problem at all, because these resurrected undead didn't need to be handled in the first place. Ling Su had a passive that stacked attack power, and from the very first floor he hadn't lost even a sliver of HP. His combo count had reached 2,412. With just one sentence, Lone Cloud instantly understood Ling Su's plan. The whole team synchronized with Ling Su. The mages used their final mana to cast the strongest spells available, determined to break the Howling Giant Spirit's magic shield. Everyone went all in to give Ling Su the perfect setup for the finishing strike. Finally, Ling Su leaped forward. "Then let me show you the damage from nearly 3,000 consecutive hits." Meanwhile outside, spectators were still anxiously waiting. If the 4th-ranked Tanjua Guild cleared this Frenzy Tier dungeon, they would surpass the top guild's previous record. Clearly, Tanjua intended to announce their strength to the server. After all, both the Guild Master and Vice Master were rising dark horses. The giant screen still showed the dungeon record as pending update, but the moment Ling Su sheathed his blades, the text on the big screen flipped instantly. Server-wide announcement. Congratulations to the Tanjua Guild team members. Ling Su, Lone Cloud, Jing Luo Wenyu, along with hard-to-name Little A and the others for slaying the Frenzy Tier boss Howling Giant Spirit, clearing the Cataclysm Graveyard Frenzy Tier, and securing the first kill record. Hearing the announcement, Ling Su didn't feel happy at all, because the record had to be credited under Tanjue Guild, meaning his identity could no longer be hidden. The payment for carrying was generous. Yes, but once this information spread, who knew how Zhongyao Guild would react? Exposure might bring unnecessary trouble. Lone Cloud, however, was all smiles. The frenzy tier record was truly theirs now. Brother Ling Su, that final strike of yours, without it, clearing this tier would have been impossible. Ling Su smoothly praised everyone in return. Lone Cloud looked at the full-screen loot and sighed. Brother Ling Su, you deserve the biggest share. But Ling Su wasn't concerned. Mage gear wasn't useful to him anyway. Based on contribution, he knew he would earn plenty of experience. In the next second, Ling Su jumped from level 12 straight to level 13.5. It proved his contribution was unquestionably the highest. Back at the Tanjue Guild, the guild master immediately converted Ling Su's contribution and carry fee into 3 gold coins and sent them to him. They wondered what Ling Su planned to do next. Go back to Zhongmiao and keep leveling, Ling Su replied calmly. Though inside he was thrilled, 3 gold coins could be exchanged for 30,000 copper coins. After all, clearing a Berserk tier dungeon only rewarded 50 copper coins. The real value was in the gear. But when Lone Cloud heard this answer, the smiling tiger's face immediately darkened. And with one glance, Jing Luo stepped forward to ask, Brother Ling Su, what do you think of our Tanjue Guild? Ling Su understood their intention. The 4th largest guild was strong by default, but he did not expect Jing Luo to be so direct. Brother Ling Su, with your talent and strength, would you join our Tanjue Guild? No need to refuse immediately. Joining would grant him the highest guild privileges. Yet Ling Su said plainly, sorry, I have no plans to switch guilds for now. But Jing Luo surprisingly followed with, if Brother Ling Su is willing, I can even give up my vice guild leader position. Ling Su's gaze turned solemn. In his previous life, he would have agreed without hesitation, but his goals this life went far beyond this. Sorry, Jing Luo. I'm not interested. Lone Cloud stood up. Brother Ling Su, then we won't see you out. Ling Su waved casually. Pleasure working with Tanjue Guild. After Ling Su left, both men's faces darkened. If he cannot be used by Tanjue, then they were destined to miss him. Jing Luo looked at the alliance request from Langi Guild. Ling Su, next time we meet, we'll be enemies. Meanwhile, the Zhongmiao vice leader received the full server announcement and was shocked that one of their own members had helped Tanjue get the Berserk first kill, especially since that thief was from Zhongmiao's 3rd squad. The Zhongmiao guild leader said expressionlessly, let the 2 of them come see me. But looking closely, this guild leader, called Heartcom Shishui, was actually a level 15 healer. At that moment, Ling Su had already returned to the 3rd squad. Listening to Tiana complain, the moment you mute messages, the whole world comes asking me about you. Speaking of which, how did I even meet Lone Cloud? Then a message popped up in Zhongmiao's management chat, and Mustard Lord rushed in. Tiana, check the management chat. Guild leader Shishui wants to see you and Ling Su. At headquarters, Ling Su said on his own, even if someone gets angry, I'll take the blame alone. A drop of cold sweat formed on Tiana's forehead. Reckless. It was she who let him develop freely. Pushing everything onto him now would make no sense. Ling Su, you should understand. In this world, forming a decent-sized guild is incredibly difficult. Even small guilds struggle to form. And powerful financial groups back many of them, making interests even more complicated. So imagine the terrifying influence of a guild leader from the top 5 guilds. If we offend them, crushing us would be effortless. Only then did Ling Su fully understand Tiana's concerns. Her family business in the real world might also take a hit, and perhaps he truly had caused her trouble this time. So he needed to explain clearly later. The vice leader spoke. We asked you here because we have some questions. Shishui's expression was calm and gentle. Then he nodded for the vice leader to handle the questioning like a secretary. Tiana, as the captain of the 3rd squad, do you have anything to say? But Ling Su answered instead. Let's get straight to the point. Shishui narrowed his eyes slightly. as if considering something. Even Lee KK was seeing someone speak like this for the first time, and Ling Su continued bluntly. Simply put, my cooperation with Tan Jue was purely for payment. Lee KK frowned. I know the one who teamed with me was Lone Cloud. Ling Su answered honestly. Whoever pays, I work for, even if it's the leader of the #1 guild. The guild never said members can't take jobs, right? Lee KK slammed the table angrily. As a Zhongmiao member, how can you hand over guild glory for money? Ling Su was speechless, but guild leader Shi Shui responded instead. Why not? The capable receive more. It is natural. This only proves Brother Ling Su is talented. Let's not dwell on this. We only wanted to understand the situation. Tiana, you stay. There are things I want to ask you. But Ling Su, even after gaining advantage, made a request. I can earn achievements for the guild, but I want to form an official team, so Tiana won't be dragged into things. The guild master agreed without hesitation, but added, I want to see results within 1 month. Is that acceptable? There was only one condition. If the team he formed could enter the top 10 of the team ladder within 1 month, he would allow Lin Su to establish an independent squad under the Guild of Jimiao. The vice master sat back to watch the show. This is interesting. Lin Su simply turned around with a relaxed expression. See you in 1 month. Any team could apply for the ladder, and each week the system would score them based on dungeon records. The ladder had 6 tiers in total, from bronze up to Grand Marshal. But the top 10 was entirely dominated by the 5 great guilds. Getting in was basically climbing to the heavens. Where did Lin Su's confidence come from? From Tiana's words, Shi Shui learned that Tiana was the one who had invited Lin Su into the guild in the first place. So Lin Su being a spy collapsed instantly. But Shi Shui was curious. Who would Lin Su pick to form his 4-man squad? Back at the 3rd squad's base, I briefly explained Shi Shui's condition. Mustard Lord exclaimed, Top 10 in 1 month? How is that possible? But Xiaoyozi was fired up. Mustard Lord, on the other hand, was thinking deeply. Lin Su had shocked him too many times. If needed, Mustard Lord was even willing to step down from his vice captain position. At that moment, Tiana arrived and cut off Mustard Lord's overthinking. Lin Su asked, Shi Master must have asked you about me just now, right? But Tiana didn't answer that. Instead, she asked me, why do you want to leave the 3rd squad? Is going independent really better? After thinking for a long while, Lin Su replied, Tiana, I have no burdens. Not like you. Going independent is because I'm afraid my impulsiveness might drag you down. After a long silence, Tiana finally burst out. She couldn't deny it. She did fear the influence of the big guilds. But it was also because of me that she achieved what she had today. If I need her, she will stand by my side. Without realizing it, she had spoken her true feelings. The two looked at each other, both replaying those words in their minds. Xiaoyozi immediately flashed a wide grin. Going independent to do big things, Brother Lin Su. Which dungeon do we farm first? Passionate Mustard Lord gave his suggestion, already considering himself part of Lin Su's team. But Lin Su gave him this answer. Mustard Lord, your strength doesn't match. You can't join the team. Mustard Lord's enthusiasm instantly froze over. So he was the only one who misunderstood. Mustard Lord, this has nothing to do with our friendship. I hope you understand. Tiana worried a little. Such blunt words must have hurt Mustard Lord's pride, but it was better to be clear. Before leaving, Mustard Lord said only one sentence. When you gather your team, I want to spar with them. Just once. Give me one chance. After saying goodbye, Tiana asked, where are we going to find teammates next? Lin Su had already decided, but kept it secret. We need an archer for the team. Meanwhile, in another map, players from the Black Wolf studio were hunting their enemy in the jungle. But before they even saw the person, one teammate was shot in the head, with just a turn of the head. The second player was also sniped brutally from the shadows. The Black Wolf leader immediately fled in panic. Just when he thought he could wait safely for backup, he heard the sound of a bullet being chambered right beside his ear. When he turned around, his pupils shrank. Bang! The leader was sent back to respawn. On a treetop in the distance stood an archer named Black Feather Seeking White, holding a next-gen sniper rifle. Then, with arrogant pride, he said his signature line, GG. In Tianyong nowadays, an archer carrying a thermal weapon always drew attention. The damage was insane, but the drop rate was ridiculously low. And every time before logging off, Blackfeather Seeking White would visit this tavern and order a glass of wheat soda, which became Lin's only clue to find him. Heavy Falcon Sniper, black hooded coat, tall and thin, loves wheat soda. Blackfeather Seeking White, long time no see. But he only glanced at Lin Su and said nothing. As expected from the rumors, a lone wolf who wouldn't spare you even an extra look. Yet this orphan was, in the previous life, the #1 long-range thermal weapon user in all of Tianyong. Lin Su said bluntly, "I want to invite you to join my team for the team ladder." But before he could finish explaining the offer, Blackfeather Seeking White shot the glass in front of him. "Get lost. Don't make me say it twice." Lin Su's face instantly darkened. "Don't misunderstand. I just think you're the right person to be my teammate. If you're willing, meet me tomorrow at noon in the ancient Mecha Cavern Dungeon. The item there, only I can help you retrieve it." To build a stable raid team, Lin Su sought out the #1 long-range thermal weapon user of his previous life, but the condition was helping him obtain the Shadow Reaper Heavy Sniper. The second teammate was clearly Little Liuzi, the one with the blessing skill. In the previous life, Little Liuzi was known as one of the 6 Great Holy Shields, the Shunshan Zonglio. The third member was another legendary figure from the past life, the Battle Mage Tillies. The 4 of them formed a temporary squad named Shadow, all following Lin Su's lead, though none of the 3 future big shots accepted the others. The dungeon they were about to challenge was the ancient Mecha Cavern. Only by clearing this special difficulty within 45 minutes could they earn the bronze tier Shadow Reaper Sniper. But Lin Su said, "With me, we only need 20 minutes. It wasn't bragging, only he knew the special route. From the moment they entered the dungeon, the run already differed completely from the usual approach. Normally, the ancient Mecha Cavern required clearing 3 submaps before reaching the final floor, the ancient Humble Bridge, and defeating the Mecha Griffin boss. Blackfeather Seeking White had tried team runs before, but the fastest took 2.5 hours. But Lin Su said they wouldn't need to fight a single mob, just exploit a shortcut. The ancient Mecha Cavern was different from normal dungeons. The entire map was preloaded. They only needed to slip through a gap to reach the ancient Humble Bridge where the boss was located. Ling Su's explanation made the entire team even more fired up, so I picked up a torch for lighting. The walls were full of countless uneven holes, and those holes were exactly the shortcut Ling Su mentioned. The tunnels were interconnected, and their paths were tangled like a spiderweb. Only Ling Su knew which route among the thousands led directly to the bottom floor boss. In the previous life, countless players explored and eventually discovered this route, turning it into a dungeon bug and making the dungeon meaningless. So once the system found the bug, it patched it soon after. Of course, nothing in the tunnels was surprising. Cute hamsters, sleeping wild monsters, and despite the maze-like paths, Ling Su remembered them clearly and leaped toward the final exit. The team finally reached the bottom floor boss's lair. Blackfeather Seeking White said clearly that they had gone through 16 horizontal shifts and 12 vertical shifts, and his sense of direction told him they had taken the right path. Just as Ling Su felt inferior to him, Blackfeather Seeking White realized that the team was inside the arched tunnel of the ancient Humble Bridge, and the reason they appeared here was because a second exploit allowed a no-damage boss kill.